I'm trying so hard to push Jesse to chop the heels, and then the guy's like, oh, I'm getting pushed, and I try and hit a stun, and I miss it.
Would you like a tip as well?
Yeah, please. Get good?
Well, yeah, obviously, but Matashi,
yeah.
Only hook Matashi.
Okay.
Don't hook anyone else.
Okay.
Hook, stun Matashi, put Matashi on his back.
Yep.
That was their carry, and just like I was telling, Tauntaun to, damage Matashi, and the first thing you guys did out the gate was...
We were just chatting, looking at the wall like, oh, that's a nice ball.
But I think I want to give you guys another chance.
Okay.
But it's going to be a pity match.
Okay.
You guys lost. You guys got rinsed, all right?
Hands up.
But I want to see if the chat agrees with me, and they want to also see a third match. So do you want to give Danny here a pity match to kind of, redeem some of his pirate glory here? Hold on. There was initial no. Some people were like, nah, get this guy off stage. But it looks like the chat does want to see it. So we're going to let... Oh, yeah, there's a lot of A's in chat for sure.
Okay.
You make up for it, Danny. Come on. You're letting all your Crusader brethren down.
You got the pro tips. So any other pro tips you think he might be able to carry on?
I mean, Danny, you want to come cast? I'll play this match for you, or what? What's going on?
Yeah, let's swap quick.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I'll do a bad job of that as well.
Well, I think we're ready for this pity match, so let's get right into it.
All right, here we go. We're back on the amphitheater. Don't forget, Team A,
Remember
there is a grapple that you need to use to get into the arena.
Hey, boys.
The door is nice, but we need to get you in.
I can hear him. Okay, Danny's team is roasting him right now.
Okay.
I can somehow hear their comms, and they're just roasting him.
Stun their DPS and we kill them.
Well, here they go. Both teams are fired up and ready to go. I'm also fired up. Look, Matashi, I think, heard me. He's like, I'm not engaging, guys. I'm waiting. But within 5 seconds, I guess they got a little overzealous. And the Team B here, the red team, is actually going to be able to find a kill early on. Tauntaun's going to get caught here. He has not a lot of HP, able to kind of make some space. Matashi is going to get rooted in the middle of the map. This is really good on Danny's part to kind of, make sure that he doesn't let this snowball. But unfortunately, a second kill, 2 unanswered so far on the side of Team B on Matashi's squad, and they're just trying to brawl here. Zerator has a lot of trouble to kind of just get out of there, able to kind of restabilize a little bit, but that precision dash will bind him. And look, they're just like sharks in the water. They smell blood. They want to find Zerator. They want to kill Zerator. Zerator using all his cooldowns to stay alive. What a phenomenal showing of what healers can do in arena here. Matashi is going to get frozen. Beautifully done. Just kind of take him out of the arena for a second. And here we go. It's going to be... Oh, Maijin's going to actually jump in. Going to stun Zerator. Here comes the death blow. Huge damage. But they do trade the kill on the other side. Zerator somehow still alive, and he can live this. That's going to be super impactful here, and that's exactly what's going to happen. They do manage to kill Matashi on the left of your screen. Zerator somehow staying alive for an SNS Greatsword. So anyone in chat who complains about SNS Greatsword, just get a healer, I guess. Forehead, all good. But it looks like Maijin here is going to be frozen again. They're doing a very good job of isolating the tank. Tauntaun getting a little low. He's going to frost smoke screen out of there. Try to create some space, but Maijin's on there like crazy. Going to get some damage off. I think the evasion kicked in from these builds that they are running. Here comes over the top rope Danny with that stun, but unfortunately Tauntaun will fall. And they are just trying to create some space here, trying to buy some time to be back at full strike. Zerator is going to be jumped on. Easy for him, able to kind of top himself back up, but now he's stunned, and he will fall. Unfortunately, we had Matashi jump in there, get that killing blow, it looked like. Matashi is now just able to use that nimble leap to kind of get some evasion, reset some cooldowns, and get back in there, and another kill is going to come on the side of the opposing team here, Team B, which is Matashi's squad, 42-19. Still just what seems like a comp diff here. Matashi and company are just popping off. Zerator going to get caught again. Maijin doing such a good job chasing down this healer and keeping him on the back foot. You need someone to peel. They do manage to find a kill, however, onto one of the DPS players on the side of Team B. Now there's the hook onto Matashi. This is where he's just gonna die. But no, what a beautiful use of the camouflage cloak from Matashi, breaking the stun. That's why it's so important when you catch him, you gotta ground him, because if they're grounded, they can't use stealth. That's the only way you can really catch these nimble classes that use dagger. Zerator is in fact using a bow. It only took Grenton 3 matches to figure it out. Don't worry, guys, I'm new to this game. But it looks like here they're gonna be able to jump back into things. But no, again, they're just cat and mouse. Both healers just trying to live for their life, and it's just not working out. Matashi's team is doing such a great job of just applying pressure at all points in this match. There is zero breathing room for anyone on Team A, but it looks like they're getting Majin very low. He is so low, they managed to bind him. Can they find the kill? No. Jesse is just a god healer and unable to kill this tank. I don't know why Danny decided to push him away from his team, but I don't think it's going to matter. Actually, it does. Danny just kept the opposing tank alive. It's like they're playing a 2v4 at this point for Zerator and for Tauntaun, but unfortunately, another kill will go on the side of the Team B here, the red team. And we have a minute 23 left in the match. Danny's going to try to get a combo off here in the center of your screen. Unfortunately, it's not going to matter. A stun going to come off the top rope as well. But just able to disengage is Jesse. Here comes the Vortex Arrow. Going to try to knock someone up. They do. And again, but look at this. Matashi actually the one who's glowing now. This is a real kill target for them. They can swing it back. Wait 5 seconds. Don't kill him yet. Kill him in looting mode so you can make back all those points. You just got to find the kill onto Matashi. CC the healer. Find the kill onto Matashi. What's cool about the little beam is that even when you're in stealth, it locates you. They do manage to find one kill. Now you got to capitalize onto Matashi, but Matashi able to trade it back. He says, hey, if you're going to chase me, I'm going to kill one of you as well. And Zerator is just caught now alone with Danny trying to chase down Matashi. Matashi is going to get caught, but he can't find the trip onto Matashi. Able to run around. Danny's just chasing him, trying his best. There's 30 seconds left in the match, 5 seconds left for the next check. They managed to avoid the 11-point shift as a charge in from Danny. There's the hook onto Matashi. Matashi is going to get low, but no, able to live with a sliver of health somehow. And Jesse's just doing an amazing job of keeping his team alive. Finally, they kill him. And look at the swinging points. 10 points getting shifted over to the side of Team A. And all they have to do now, I say, is fully wipe the enemy team and somehow stay alive in 10 seconds, which I don't think is going to happen. So it looks like in a 3-0, even with the pity match, Danny and company were unable to come back and find it. Matashi is an actual elusive snake.
That was good.
Crazy.
Matashi. What in the world cannot be stopped?
Dalucard, or I believe in-game his name was Majin, even though he didn't have his SNS in his hand, he was so oppressive on that tank. Jesse just one dagger, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if any of these players have played the game before, but they seem like they've been playing the game before. Danny's been playing the game before, and Matashi was kind of, had like a little treat in his hand and said, oh, you can't get me, you can't get me. And that was the entire arena match. I just saw you running around trying to chase this guy down.
My heart's still back. It's just exhilarating, isn't it? It's just so much fun. And I can hear you in the background, so you don't normally have that.
Right. I mean, when we jumped into it, I could hear them at the beginning because we were in your POV, so I could actually hear Zerator and Tauntaun just roasting you a little bit, trying to get you fired up. And what was funny is that the initial engage, you both just ran at each other, and then one of your guys just died instantly.
Oh, he's gone.
Well, let's take a look at some of our replays here. I mean, maybe some changes. Maybe you can learn from your mistakes over here. Yeah,
I feel like we were picking up on it, and we were getting.
Oh yeah, you definitely were improving.
Yes.
I feel like that third match definitely felt better, right?
Too.
I kept hearing your voice in my head, like Paul Matashi, and then I'm bad. I can't click him. I'm spamming my mouse. I'm like, can't get him. He's just disappearing. It's very hard to.
This is what you said at the beginning of the show, right? You got a good team in your guild, so they can carry you.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You're
the personality hire.
We didn't say that you were good.
Cannon was, gloating that he's the best, best player to touch this game. But Danny, you're just here for all fun and games. And I think that everyone at home had a ton of fun watching those 3 arenas, because I know I did. I'm sweating bullets here, and I'm sure you are as well. So that was a really fun arena to watch and to cast.
Yes, well, if you want to jump into things early in Throne and Liberty, Early Access Pack allows players to start playing before the official launch on September 26th. It's going to be available on PC, Xbox Series XS, and PlayStation 5, offering exclusive rewards and a head start. So let's get into the standard pack. You get it early. You get that Radiant Swan Flight morph, that Shadow Lion Dash morph, that Radiant Otter Swim morph, the Radiant Lula Amatoy, and the Explorer title.
Not only that, in the deluxe pack, you'll get everything Pao just mentioned in the standard pack, as well as the exclusive Shadow Knight outfit, the Radiant Wolf Dash morph, the Shadow Mischief Amatoy, the Adventurous Pioneer title, and 500 Lucent to start your journey. In the Ultimate pack, you're going to get everything we just talked about in the standard and deluxe packs, as well as the Radiant Spirit outfit, the Shadow Wyvern Flight Morph, the Shadow Lion Dash Morph, the Shadow Shark Swim Morph, the Trailblazer of Cilicium title, the Take the Throne emote, and 1,000 Lucent to start you off.
Well, no matter how you get into the game, we're just excited for you to join the battle. And speaking of battles, Conquest Battle is coming up next. But before that, let's hear more from our NC Soft to learn a little bit on the approach of large-scale battles.
예, 그 PVE 콘텐츠에 많이 신경을 썼지만 공성전과 같은 PVP 콘텐츠는 다른 MMORPG가 따라오기 어려울 저희만의 어떤 최고를 만들고 싶었어요. MMO 장르에서. 그렇기 때문에 PVE를 즐기는 유저들도 거기에서의 어떤 성장과 그리고 재미를 통해서 이후에 공성전이라고 하는 PVP 콘텐츠를 하나의 빅게임처럼 같이 즐길 수 있게 하는 것들을 목표로 했고 지금 현재 그런 부분들이 다른 게임이 줄 수 없는 경험을 저희는 주고 있다고 생각합니다.
저희가 사실 게임에서 줄 수 있는 재미는 되게 다양한 게 있는데 MMO에서 줄 수 있는 재미 중에 가장 큰 축 중에 하나가 사실 유저들끼리 서로 대결하는 것이었어요. 그리고 저희가 또 중요하게 생각하고 집중하고 있었던 게 대규모로 대결할 수 있는 전장 같은 게 필요하다는 생각을 했고 그 전장이라면 사실 그 정도 인원 규모가 무엇을 두고 싸우면 좋을까? 어떤 스케일을 가지고 어떤 방식으로 싸우면 좋을까? 이렇게 생각하게 된 게 공성전의 시작이었습니다. 그 테크니컬 프로그램 팀이 되게 사람들이 엄청 좋은 능력들을 가지고 있고 되게 기술적으로 새로운 시도들을 많이 해서 사실 수백 대 수백의 싸움을 하면서도 지연이나 또는 렉이 그렇게 많지 않은 그런 환경을 만들어내서 저희가 이걸 가지고 맨 먼저 이제 개발팀 내부에서 한 100대 100 정도로 싸워봤을 때, 와, 이거 진짜 다른 게임에서 할 수 없는 우리만의 되게 유니크한 경험이다 라는 생각을 했고.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I'm so excited. Every time they show this, I feel like we're just learning more and more. And I love when the devs can really get their hands in with the community and work together, because I think without that, synergy between devs and community, it's really hard to, have a strong foundation.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And what's really cool about Throne and Liberty is the game's only been out for about, 9 to 10 months. However, the developers at NCSoft have been so quick to pivot and even change things. They'll release something, there's community feedback, oh, maybe that wasn't the best idea, and they fix it super fast. And one of the things they really did fix like this, and a lot for the better, Cannon talked about it a little bit yesterday, is how these large-scale battles work. So these large-scale battles used to be where all the boonstones and all the riftstones would just become in conflict instantly at the same time, and then these massive 500-plus player alliances would just teleport from boonstone to boonstone, kill, and then trying to cap as many as possible. And NCSoft was like, no, we're not really big fans of that. So they made it a 1v1 for one guild versus one guild, and you actually declare the stone. So if you're not part of those guilds and you walk onto the battlefield, your character will actually just become invisible. And you can watch the fight, which is super cool too from a content creation perspective. If your favorite streamer is going to be fighting on a boonstone, you can kind of go there in game and actually watch the carnage unfold.
Yeah, well, next up we have 140 players converging in a conquest battle where two guilds will clash for control in the battle for the Riftstone right after this.
Evento SIG tava rolando ontem, mas só que sofreu ataque DDoS, tá ligado? Aí
Join the
vamos fazer
resistance
hoje à noite,
and combat the demonic Archaeum Legion
vai dar bom.
across Elysium's vast open world. But first, you must take up arms. You will dual wield from an arsenal of powerful
Essa voz baixa é
weapons.
sério, velho.
Greatsword, dagger, sword and shield, crossbow, staff, longbow, wand and tome. As you become more familiar with your weapons of choice, your skill level increases. Create a unique build and perform devastating attacks and combos.
E agora tá baixo?
Elysium has no shortage of adventures to embark upon and enemies to defeat. Complete grand quest lines for your allies. Explore ancient dungeons. Battle gigantic world bosses. And lay siege to player-controlled castles alongside your friends and guildmates.
E aí, como é que tá?
PvP
Ah, sim,
battles.
beleza.
Elysium's future hangs in the
Esse jogo é
balance.
muito incrível, cara, na moral.
You and your allies must defend it at all costs.
Esse é o gráfico do jogo mesmo, tá ligado? Aquilo ali é uma gameplay. Olha, agora também.
Sharpen your weapons and claim the throne.
Welcome back to Siege the Day. If you're just joining us, we just wrapped up 3 epic rounds of Arena, and now it's time to turn things up a bit. Up next, we'll dive into the thrilling battle for the Riftstone, the 70v70 conquest battle between Nyx and Just Play. But first, let's talk about guilds. That's basically what makes this event possible. Guilds are the backbone of Throne
Esse
and
jogo vai
Liberty.
prometer
It's
muito, cara. Vai
large-scale
ser muito
battle
sucesso aqui no
PvP,
Brasil.
battles bringing strategy,
Aqui no site
teamwork,
oficial,
and passion
na
to
stream
save the day.
oficial, né, da Amazon Games, tá quase 25 mil pessoas, cara. Na Steam, ele é o terceiro jogo mais comprado, tá ligado? Pra subir cada vez mais.
There's safety and community in numbers, so join or create your own guild.
Esse jogo vai fazer
Guild
muito
membership grants
sucesso
you
aqui.
access to a long list of bonuses and makes it easier to participate in server-wide activities. You can access special shops and supplies, additional resources, extra raids,
Amanhã,
conquest battles,
quem
and
comprou um
massive
antecipado vai
PvP
poder
castle
jogar.
sieges. Guilds are an important part of the Throne and Liberty experience. You're able to join a guild early on during your adventures. The sooner you join, the sooner you can take advantage of all the benefits guild membership has to offer. But first, you've got to find a guild.
31 mil pessoas,
The
cara.
in-game UI makes searching for a guild easy.
Acompanhando a live deles,
Casual
tá ligado?
guilds may be open to any and all players, while more hardcore PvP and PvE guilds may require approval by guild leadership. You'll need your resume, 3 forms of identification, and... just kidding. Each guild will have its own requirements for membership, so make sure you know what you're signing up for. Don't forget to check out the recruiting channel in the official Discord to see what the community has to offer. Joining a guild in Throne and Liberty grants you access to exciting and challenging new activities.
Tá lá
Contributing
global,
towards each
mas
guild's
vai pegar
progress
o
both you
todo o
and
SA,
your guild
tá ligado?
reputation,
Sul-América,
rewards, and
South
resources.
America.
Capturing boonstones grants you vital buffs, while riftstones allow the controlling guild to summon a
Eu
world
tava
boss
jogando o
and
coreano
drop
pra
powerful
aprender.
gear. But laying siege to an enemy castle
Só que
is
ele é
the
extremamente
ultimate way
muito
for a guild
pesado,
to claim
cara.
the throne and the rewards it offers. By now, you're a member of a guild. You're organized, you've got the gear, and conquered the dungeons. Group up with hundreds of guild
Tem que
and
fazer
alliance
upgrade
mates to
de
claim the throne.
memória pro notebook
Siege
aqui.
golems are a must-have for any serious invading force. You can transform into these massive stone monsters by purchasing the materials from the guild merchant. On the topic of serious forces, in any guild worth their salt, the guild leader calls the shots, their officers support them with strong tactics, and members execute the guild's plans to achieve shared goals.
Esse é a SIG, tá ligado? Invasão de castelo pra proteger e conquistar. É muito interessante. Não tem só uma entrada, tá ligado? O cara pode entrar por trás do castelo, pelo esgoto. Muito interessante esse jogo.
The backbone of all large-scale content. Throughout the last 10 months of the game being out in Korea, NCSoft really wanted to emphasize the identity of guilds and obviously the alliances that you can form with other guilds. So finding the right guild that you can join that, you know, resonates either with your playstyle, your culture, like we saw in the video, if you like
mas amanhã vai ser original. Não se preocupe com isso, tem que estar tranquilo. Vou streamar ainda assim. Tudo bem, mas amanhã vai ser eu jogando mesmo. E é original, tá tranquilo. Estou com 16 de memória, cara. Vou colocar uma ajuda pra ver se a galera ajuda a comprar a memória dele. Comprar uma de 32. Porque a outra memória aqui da placa do notebook é soldada, tá ligado? Aí uma é solta. Aí eu vou comprar. Aí eu vou poder streamar tranquilo.
Gaming a little bit.
Absolutely. I'm just sat here and I can see all the organization going on in the background, and it like you just said there, it takes a lot to run one and get everyone together and create a nice community and a good feeling.
Pô, do notebook Asus, uma delas é soldada, a outra não.
The sheer amount of effort that's going in just to kind of organize what's about to happen is amazing. But yeah, shout out to my guys, shout out to our boys.
Pelo menos vai ser um notebook com 40 GB de memória, tá ligado? Vai dar pra jogar tranquilo.
10 plus years in pirate gaming now, and we meet up IRL and we meet, you know, in game basically every day, and yeah, it's been really cool. But running it and managing everything with everything else going on in everyone's lives is a lot of hard work. But you don't have to be that serious in a guild. You can go a bit more relaxed, a bit more casual, run it when you're home from work or join it when you're home from work. It's really cool, and there is literally something out for everyone. And I was looking at the other day actually on the Discord. If you just type in EU or NA and you just see that little bar, there is hundreds of guilds. So just spend a bit of time and look for it and you'll find something that suits you. But yeah, shout out to Pirate Gamer. Yeah,
there's a ton of different guilds that you can join, and I'd like to take a moment to recognize some of them that are participating in today's event. So yesterday we saw a lot of North American guilds competing. We saw Ethereum, we saw Synergy, who's from Europe, but they were competing on the NA day. We saw Moonrise, Excelsior, Focus, Royal Vanguard, Eclipse, Elysian, Lunar Inn, and Reborn. And today we have our EU lineup. We have Nyx, Just Play, Sanguinis, Zakon, Hand of Unity, Quintessence, WoW.
Amanhã é para quem comprou o Early Access, o acesso antecipado. Dia 1 é de graça para todo mundo que quer jogar.
While guilds aren't battling empty-handed, let's hear about how your choice of weapons can give you an advantage.
재미를 주는 포인트라고 생각하는 걸 뽑아보자면 두 가지 무기를 조합해서 어떻게 보면 자신만의
combinação de armas é difícil de fazer para criar classes únicas dessa forma. Porque neste jogo não tem classe, tá ligado? As suas habilidades vêm das armas que você utiliza. E pode ser utilizado duas armas ao mesmo tempo. Peguei sim. Tanto que estou em uma guilda competitiva, tá ligado? Mais barato é de 200, mas já ajuda.
주고 있습니다. 하지만 사실 저희가 유저들한테 PL의 어떤 점이 재밌냐, 어떤 점이 흥미롭냐라고 했을 때 사실 빠짐없이 나오는 거거든요. 전통적인 클래스 개념에 갇혀있는 게임들이 아니라 유저가 스스로 무기를 전환해서 얼마든지 사실상 클래스를 바꿀 수 있고 거기에 그치지 않고 이걸 조합해서 새로운 재미를 만들어갈 수 있다는 게 사실 무한의 가능성을 주는 거고 사실 사람들이 일반적으로 잘 쓰지 않는 조합을 쓰는데 그 강궁이랑 그다음에 마법봉 요 두 가지 무기를 쓰고요. 제가 약간 성향 자체가 다른 사람과 함께하고 그다음에 좀 도와주는 거 그래서 이렇게 좀 서포트 형식이 강한 그 성향이 강한 그런 무기들을 사용합니다. 근데 대중적으로 인기가 있지 않습니다.
E para quem tem a Nvidia, não é? a RTX e tal. Tem um outro atalho que você coloca, não sei se é Alt R, Alt Ctrl R, que você habilita uma textura melhor. Aí fica bem mais bonito o jogo.
Okay, there's a weapon there that I feel like you guys all perked up when you saw it.
I have it in my notes.
Okay.
Developers play Greatsword Dagger. I said it many times on stream, and I've been finally validated. So thank you, NCSoft, for making me look smarter than I actually am. But on another, on the flip side of things,
yes.
Canon, like I mentioned earlier, there's a video on his YouTube channel. He was able to interview one of the representatives here at Amazon.
Eu nem dei overclock no notebook. Overclock não, na verdade. Nem dei, que é pra justamente não forçar. Só botar uma textura a mais não vai destruir não, tá com a porra.
What's coming in our version of the game, definitely check out his video and check out the article on the Throne and Liberty website regarding the roadmap. And I hear you, chat. I see it. You guys want Twitch drops. So today's Twitch drops are currently active. If you missed it yesterday, the Siege of the Day title is still available, and you will get the morph, the flight morph, if you watch for 90 minutes. And our stream yesterday,
vai ganhar aquele pássaro bonito ali.
We are bringing back the day one drops. However, not today. We're bringing them back for early access. So if you watch any creators who participated in this event either today or yesterday during early access as of September 26th, those drops will be available. So if you missed it, I saw some screenshots of people being at 98%.
Oh.
We heard you.
We heard you.
We worked hard on it, and those drops are going to be coming back for early access for you.
Well, Conquest battles are all about teamwork. Up next, we have a video breaking down Throne and Liberty's Conquest battles, specifically the battle for the Riftstone. Let's get an overview of the strategic gameplay, key objectives, and how guilds must capture and hold the Riftstone to claim to victory. Let's take a look.
Resgatar e o outro daqui
Throne and Liberty's Conquest battles, where our creators will now team up with powerful guilds in an all-out war for control over boonstones and riftstones. These objectives are crucial. Boonstones provide powerful buffs and territory control, while riftstones open the door to dimensional spaces and rare rewards. Victory requires more than brute strength. It demands strategy, coordination, and the ability to adapt on the fly. As the battle begins, which guild will claim dominance with the help of our creators? Watch closely as the action unfolds in Siege the Day's Conquest battles. Watch closely as the action unfolds.
So yeah, Riftstones are a super important part of Throne and Liberty. There's two types of stones. We saw yesterday a Moonstone fight, and today we have the Riftstone fight. And how these stones work in Throne and Liberty in Cilicia is that each zone has a Boonstone and a Riftstone. So the Boonstone's attached to the actual zone. Yesterday we saw Greyclaw Forest. Today, however, we have a Riftstone, and the Riftstones are attached to certain bosses. They're called field bosses out in the world. Those field bosses have loot that a lot of players are going to want to get after. A lot of the builds that are circulating online are chock full of field boss loot. So why do you even want a Riftstone? Riftstones will both give your guild passive buffs, so something like extra hit, extra skill damage boost. They'll give your guild activity points per minute, which will help your guild climb on the guild rankings for your server.
Porque a guilda tem um horário prime dela, tá ligado? O horário prime é das 18 às 1 da manhã.
Gold and some wood, and that allows you to use guild skills, which are the summon gates that we saw yesterday, as well as the extra range and all that. But more importantly, when it comes to Riftstones are super sought after, because the winning guild can go inside the Riftstone once a day and fight that boss exclusively for their guild. No other guild on the server can do it. Even if you only have 4 guilds, only one of those 4 guilds are going to be able to go into the Riftstone and fight the boss. So today we're going to be fighting on the Adentis Riftstone, which is a very sought-after boss, has one of the strongest greatswords in the game currently, and I'm very excited to see these guilds compete.
For the battle for the Riftstone, our creators will be joining forces with powerful guilds. So let's take a look at the 2 guilds competing.
Yeah, we have 2 very known guilds right now. We have Nyx and Just Play, and we have some great creators joining these guilds as well, On Team A with Nyx, we have Zerator, Danae, and Lappy, and on Team B with
Mas vai valer a pena. Porque esse jogo, ele é dominação de servidor, tá ligado? Dominação total, cara. Esse jogo é complicado. Pra quem conseguir fazer um clã realmente forte, este servidor tá perdido para os demais. São vários servidores que tem. Cada servidor vai comportar 6.000 players, tá ligado? 6.000 jogadores, cada um deles. E vai abrir mais alguns depois.
Spam those emotes, spam those emotes.
This is where I can come into my own and Nix can carry me.
Yeah, this is the Danny special.
This is what you were waiting for.
Isn't this why you're allying with them on global?
Yeah, because they're great.
They're just going to carry you guys?
Absolutely. Well, I can now go and find Matashi or Jesse now and just hunt them down in the mix.
Well, it looks like Nix is spoken here in the chat. So I feel like, you know, when we do this, this is how we learn, you know, where the communities are basing. But, you know, the people have spoken. Let's see which team will secure their guilds, and we'll see the victory for Conquest Battle.
And this is the Adentis Riftstone, one of my personal favorite Riftstones to fight over. It's very cramped, it's very close together. The center is that Riftstone on that low ground, and these roofs are going to be very important for guilds to take control of. You actually see both guilds just kind of owning their own roof, and we see the cap start. The cap is different than Boonstones. As you can see, both guilds are on the side of your screen on the right-hand side, and it's King of the Hill. The more people that stand in the actual circle, it'll help your guild.
Quem é range ataque, cara, tem um range muito bom pra poder dar os tiros de longe, tá ligado? Feitos arqueiros, magos. O mago não tem um range tão bom, mas o arqueiro tem. O paladino aqui é muito forte, cara. Falo paladino, mas é junção de armas, tá ligado? Varinha com espada e escudo. É muito forte.
Trying to just fire all their sort of artillery that they can into the actual center of the Boonstone. And if we can kind of get up into maybe a little bit of a bird's eye to show the entire battlefield here, you can kind of see how many players are just standing on the roofs and just able to kind of rain down hellfire, quite literally, onto the actual stone itself. This is going to be very different than the war we saw yesterday, because yesterday was more of a traditional meet on the battlefield, where this is going to be a lot of sneaking, a lot of trying to just push them away from that green circle that you see on your screen. It looks like Nix has made the call to just leave a few people in the actual stone.
O mais legal dele é que você tem vários tipos de modalidade de câmera, tá ligado? O arqueiro já atacando de cima da casa, que tá lá embaixo. E o melhor é esse que afasta a câmera para bem longe, tá ligado? Aí o gráfico perde um pouco mais, mas quando tu aproxima a câmera, o gráfico fica bem melhor.
So usually a good shot caller will send out 1 or 2 scouting parties, some great sword daggers, some crossbow daggers to kind of figure out where they're going to push from. And as you can see here, the bottom right of your screen, Just Play, is getting that roof control, which is super important. The cap is almost complete. There is no overtime in this stone. It's going to simply be awarded to the guild that has control of it at the end. So it's very important you get this initial cap, and then getting that cap off of the guild that's occupying the stone is very difficult. So huge stone in the middle here. We got Blood Devotions. Those red tendrils are tanks popping what's called Blood Devotion. That'll redirect damage from their party back to them, as well as increase the damage that their party can inflict. This is an absolute wipe here. It looks like Just Play tried to make a play, ironically enough, for the stone. But no, they're actually gaining some momentum here. A ton of Vortex being spammed. This is the power of bow in large-scale PvP, ladies and gentlemen, where you can spam that Vortex arrow, CC the entirety of certain guilds as they go, and Just Play has now been completely pushed off the stone, which means they are no longer participating in the cap, and they will need to spin the stone and interact with it once again. But it looks like that progress bar on the right side of your screen is filling up for Nix as they keep players inside. and they'll be able to cap the stone here as well.
So I want to kind of interject here, because if, let's say, you are going to turn the stone again, like, what do you have to do? You only have, like, the other stone. You only have certain people who can actually do this.
Yeah, so it's the same thing here. Only guardians, advisors, or guild leaders can interact with the stone.
Right.
But then it's a numbers game. You want to just kind of put as many people as you can on the stone so that progress bar fills faster.
Okay.
As we can see here, Nyx now occupies the stone, which means that for Just Play to actually win this Riftstone conflict, they need to not only interact with the stone, but also fill the progress bar up in its entirety, or else Nyx will just win. So they have only 16 minutes to do so. I would like to see them kind of take this, the clock tower is what I call it, the bell tower. That is a very advantageous position. It allows for a lot of chokes if you try to get... A very advantageous counter pushed, and it allows you a really good line of sight into the actual fight. And it looks like that's kind of where they're setting up here, a little bit outside the zone. They're trying to get their bearings, they're trying to figure out what they want to do, and they're finally going to start moving towards the Adentis Riftstone. So you can kind of see that bell tower right there.
Esse zoológico aí são jogadores, tá?
As they push through. They're doing
Só para deixar claro.
Push, where they just run and they're going to split two ways, it looks like. They're actually wrapping fully around tree side.
Porque a montaria do jogo é o próprio jogador, tá ligado? Ele se transforma em bicho terrestre, voador e aquático.
Their backline is completely unprotected now, and that's exactly what we're seeing here. Their tanks are having to swoop back around and play front to back, because unfortunately, they kind of just left their backline completely vulnerable. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. They have to stop and then completely pivot and look back at the tree, which they just so quickly ran by. And it looks like this is actually almost working out for them. Nyx is losing some people on their side, but this is just a bloodbath now. This is where the vortex arrows is going to come out. All these circles you see on the ground are what's called Fountain of Life. So healers can place those down, and currently in the game, it only heals the 6 people in your party. So that's why you see so many of them. So this little AoE heal, if you're on the opposing side, it'll pop up as red, so you can know, okay, let me knock these people out of it. But on the, friendly side, which we're on the observer client, that's what we're seeing. This is a very long engage. Usually engages don't last this long at all. It's usually a lot quicker. So this is just testament to the healing of both guilds. Both guilds, their healers are putting in a lot of work. You see a lot of counter barriers being popped by those tanks to stay tanky and try to peel them off their healers. And I'd love to try to jump into Danny's POV if we can, kind of see what's going on his side.
He's laughing.
He's laughing. That's why I want to see what's going on.
So brilliant.
That's why I want to see what's going on. There's Danny. All right, let's just stay with Danny. Let's go into the tank with Danny here for a little bit.
Take high ground 4 again. They range DPS. Melee DPS is
this is, again, they're just going to get high ground control here, it looks like. And Just Play actually managed to interact with the stone. There's like one person on it, and we're actually going to jump into comms here as well. We're just going to listen to Nyx and the rest of the crew.
Careful, these guys don't go wild. These guys are brilliant though. The energy is phenomenal.
For those of you who don't speak French, I will translate for you later.
further around now.
So here we go, the tree.
We can catch a tail, just pop remedies and try to catch a tail with sleep bombs. Okay, look at sleep bombs. Once they're sleeping, we engage. Once they're sleeping, we engage. We're just walking up to sleep bomb. And if you don't hit it, we back. We got some sleep bombs,
What a beautiful
Hit the sleep bombs. And stay range. Do not fill scent yet. Do not fill scent, just fill range.
There's so much going on. So can you explain a little bit like how they color coded this? So like for us newbies, how do you like figure out what are we watching?
If it's red, it's dead. If it's not green, you need
que a guerra ela é feita em algumas fases. Até chegar no castelo vai
I'm not sure if it was in English or French, because it all sounds like one language to me. But he was saying we're going to go for a sleep bomb, and if we don't get it, we pull back. So that's kind of what Ethereum was doing yesterday too. They were kind of teasing the enemy. They were like, oh, pop your cooldowns, pop your defensives, we'll go back. I think Danny died because he just threw his hands up in the air a little bit. But there was a really good engage on the side of Nyx, where they managed to find the sleep bomb, they engaged, but Just Play did such a good job.
Fora que dá pra usar
they didn't get all those healers slept, so those healers were actually able to
golems, tá ligado? Pra destruir.
And that's the only dangerous part of the sleep bomb, is that if your healers get slept, now no one can heal. And that's where you kind of see a guild kind of just walk through another one. But Just Play did a very good job of counter-engaging there, and that's why, for as long as I've been explaining to you that engage, it's still going on, because these healers and these tanks are doing a phenomenal job of supporting the DPS players. And as a tank, I know a lot of people don't believe me, but you are not the main character. You are there to turn online your DPS players. Just Play has managed to spin the stone, which means now Nyx either has to just wait it out and then go back and recap the stone, or they're going to probably turn back after this engage, try to get a wipe onto Just Play. It looks like there's not many players standing on the actual stone itself, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see Nyx kind of regroup and then jump down into the stone to clear things up. Yeah, it looks like they pushed off the. There's a couple tombstones on the stone there. Those are the two Just Play players who managed to flip the stone, and now they're going to go stand on the stone. And as you can see, the red bar on the right side of your screen will slowly, elapse to nothing, and then Nyx will become owners of the stone again. With about 11 minutes left, I'd be very interested to see a different engage now from Just Play. They tried to do the bell tower engage, but they just didn't make it there. So what I would do is I would actually wrap around the complete outside of the map, past the Adentis spawn pit, which is to the left of what we're looking at now, come on the back of the bell tower, and then just try to get some high ground control so you don't get slept and you don't get caught like that. So as you can see now, they are moving up. They didn't go left here, but we're going to be jumping into Danny's POV as well and seeing this engage one more time from a POV of what you're going to see at home when you're playing.
Just be ready for sleep. We don't sleep first. We don't sleep first, okay? We're looking for sleep. We're looking for sleep. We're looking for sleep. We're looking for sleep.
I just hear sleep. Sleep.
That's the best way to engage. Look for sleep. Great calls right now.
Take high ground, take church, take seven. Take church, take
so now they're taking the bell tower, they call it church, and that's like, in my opinion, the best place to fight.
Irmão, os caras são tão organizados, velho, para jogar esse jogo competitivo de uma forma tão hardcore, que se usa dois meios de comunicação, velho. É muito impressionante.
He's reminding people to use their Guardian ability, which is on a 10-minute cooldown. It looks like Danny's is coming up here in like 45 seconds.
Os caras gastam dinheiro do bolso para fazer isso. E tanto que eles amam esse jogo, tá ligado? E o que ele acaba proporcionando aos demais jogadores. Esse jogo é muito bom. O cara não tá sendo gankado. É muito dano, velho. O cara entrou no inferno, doido. E aí?
What a great engage here. And again, look how tanky both sides are. Just a testament to these tanks and healers.
We're gonna send it, okay? We're gonna send it now. Just move it up. It's big blue. It's big blue. Yeah, it's 50-50 right now. Just keep it up, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. Just clean wipe. Yeah, nice. Big refeed. Nice job. Just keep holding the inside, okay? Look at Star. Just keep holding the inside. You don't have to outspeak, you know? If you low HP, you just back up around the corner. And I want people to focus on the people inside of us. Look how many people are inside of us. They can all die. They can literally all die. They're so low HP, guys. Come on. You cannot let them live here. They're literally on health here.
Good hook from Danny there, peeling off of one of his squishies. I believe he just pulled Myjin as well. He's still mad from the arena.
Alright, it's big blue, nice. We won this fight, just take it slow now and wipe them out.
Yeah, so that was a really good call from the shot caller on the side of Nyx. They engaged, and the enemy front line was able to penetrate their main ball, and all you heard was, look how many are inside us, look how many are inside us, turn around, and that's what I was talking about yesterday, a front-to-back gameplay for your tanks. And we'll jump back to a little bit of a bird's eye here, so we can take a look at the second game, the second engage from Just Play. They're coming back a lot quicker, but again, just a really good job. It just shows what coordinated guilds do, and this is a scrum, an absolute bloodbath happening on the stone, and a huge sleep happening in the bottom right of your screen. They're trying to spin the cap here. This is a great engage from Just Play, just came out of nowhere, but unfortunately they do get interrupted. The sleep doesn't last an eternity, it lasts only about 8 seconds, which could feel like an eternity sometimes. But it looks like Nyx is able to find their footing and push back Just Play. Just Play retreating now onto the top of the roofs, trying to find some high ground pressure. But unfortunately, Nyx just moves so well in this small arena. Just Play is having a little bit of a hard time figuring out where they want to engage from. And as you saw in the last engage, Nyx did a good job of saying, hey, you're trying to take that bell tower? No, we're going to beat you there. Now come get us if you want it. So now they're just fighting out here. This is what I call an ego fight. There's no rhyme or reason to fighting this far from the stone. You're just trying to demoralize your opponents here.
Whoa!
And Danny is anything but demoralized right now, let me tell you.
I'm getting carried. It's so much
He's
more
making
fun.
weird animal noises on the side. I don't know if you guys can hear him at home. But there's about 7 minutes left in this Riftstone, excuse me, and I'm not sure if the guild leader of Just Play used their summon gates and used their res stones. This res point is exactly pretty much where they're standing now, so it's not nearly as far as Greyclaw Forest, but that range buff is popped, so they are going to probably pop range and mana regen to just give them a little bit of an advantage in terms of the engage. The range applies, like I mentioned yesterday, sleeps, taunts, hooks, and just all range projectiles that you are going to be using to engage or counter-engage a team. So they're going to be wrapping around the far side of the tree. I think they learned their lesson last time from going too close and getting caught. They're trying to pull Nyx away from the high ground, which is a great strategy to do as well. They're going to take a beat here, catch their breath. That range buff
been used as well.
Oh, and it looks like Danny's giving me intel. They just used their guild buffs as well. So it looks like both guilds have used their range buffs. So now everyone back on equal footing. Those buffs last for a few minutes, so it's not something you have to pop and just run in. And it looks like pop and run in. They heard me. Am I shot calling or is Nick shot calling? I'm not sure anymore. But I said pop and run in, and we have another engage happening here. A beautiful sleep bomb on the side of your screen. And this is contrary to NA. A lot of blood devotion. Look at all these red lines. NA, those tanks.
Parece muito triste beta colorida.
I'm gonna come in front of you. I'm gonna punch you in your mouth.
É muito skill, cara. Quando for fazer a SIG, colocar tudo no mínimo. Porque dá não, é muito skill dele.
And my DPS can just free cast. So two very different playstyles from two very different regions. And look how long this engage is lasting because of the blood devotions. Because MVC is a healer. If you have to heal one person or
faz favor, Cleiton. Manda uma mensagem lá na Twitch, no chat da Twitch, por favor, pra ver se tá pegando. Eu acho que tá bugado. Ou só pra testar, né? Pra ver se não tá pegando.
To mitigate all of the damage they're redirecting for as long as that Q block happens. And it looks like we're going to be jumping back into Danny's POV. He spotted the summon gate. He saw the summon gate. The comms have been given. And look, at the top of your screen, a summon gate's happening. And this is a really good summon gate. It's complete other side of where the guild will spawn from, but they all get slept.
Caramba, já começou. Esse é o paladino, tá ligado? Tá entrando aí no meio da galera.
It's just, yeah, we're going for it now.
What a beautiful engage from Nyx. Oh my goodness.
It's just outside.
That's exactly what comms sound like. As someone who has done, 4 rifts a week for the last, 8 months.
Obrigado,
you guys get
tá de
fired
boa.
up. So Nyx is having a blast. Just Place putting up a great fight as well.
O que eu gosto do TikTok, cara, é que ele deixa o chat dele sobreposto, mas não aparece, tá ligado? Nas demais. O TikTok é muito bom por isso. É uma pena que MMORPG aqui no TikTok não funcione, mas eu vou insistir, eu vou fazer. Vai que um dia dá certo.
Minutes and 50 seconds left. Nyx has 100% controlled the tempo of this entire Riftstone war. They engaged on their terms. They told Just Play, hey, you want to engage? No, we got this. You're playing our game. And look at this. They just are clumped up on the summon gate. You don't have an immunity buff when you port in from a summon gate, where if you spawn at the res point, you get about 20-second immunity buff to kind of run back into it. But now this is where you just kind of have your guild kill the summon gate.
Amanhã é só o
and
início.
You just farm them as they come in. Nyx has shown that they have a very good understanding of the Adentis Riftstone. They were moving as one, Just Play, trying some creative engage tactics. And it looks like, they're all taking the summon gate at once. A coordinated summon gate push. Nyx on the back foot for what seems like the first time in this entire Riftstone fight, And they're going to get knocked up. And this is exactly what you want. Send your Vortex Arrow, send your bows, knock up those tanks, and just get rid of the DPS. There's a lot of DPS on the roof that you have to take care of, And again, the blood devotions going out just makes the DPS so tanky. There is under 3 minutes left in this war, and they're just fighting on the church. This church is completely away from the Adentis Riftstone. So if I'm Nyx, I'm sending 1 or 2 of my Guardians to Cap, and then I'm Just Play. I'm sending 1 or 2 of my Guardians to Cap. I'm completely disengaging, and then I'm bunkering down on the Riftstone. Unfortunately, their summon gate does elapse. Now there's only a few of them there. They're actually standing on the edge of the PvP zone. The PvP zone doesn't go super far, so they're safe zoning, as the people at home like to call it. And it looks like they listened to me again because they tried to send a couple people at the Riftstone.
O top 1 PVP do servidor, ele tem a habilidade de mudar o clima, estação planetária. Tanto que ele consegue fazer um eclipse, tá ligado? A função do eclipse no jogo é liberar o PVP de dia. E libera por alguns minutos. Mas libera. PVP, o top guild, o top PVE, ele libera chuva, tá ligado? Ele faz chover. Interessante.
Can sort of start to build, but look at these tanks from Nyx just pushing through, pushing from where Just Play came.
A chuva também tem uma finalidade nesse jogo.
Everyone's going to dive onto the stone now, the final minute and a half of play. I don't believe that Just Play has enough time to even cap the stone if they do manage to spin it. However, this has been a great showing of what a Rift Stone fight looks like.
Tudo nesse jogo é bem pensado, pô. Olha o mago de cima da casa, atirando nos caras lá embaixo.
I mean, you get to see the utter chaos that we got over here, and one of the things is, you know, there's different strategy between different stones. Would you say NA's advancement was a lot differently paced, not just because of the stone, but just different styles?
It's just the style of play. Yeah, the stones themselves obviously create a different dynamic in the strategy, but just look, if you go back and watch the
because there's no overtime in this one.
Exactly, and if you go back and watch the video from yesterday, you probably saw 0 red lines from Blood Devotion. Those tanks were not running them. They were running, I'm going to hit you in the face sort of tank build, where these tanks, especially on Nyx's side, there's a lot of Blood Devotion, and that creates, it pretty much makes the rest of your party into tanks, and then the tank just does nothing and just kind of hits there. And speaking of tanks, let's dive into Danny's POV for the final 10 seconds. Let's let him have a little bit of fun here while we have this final engage. In the last 10 seconds here, he's going to be holding that roof. And as the time elapses, it looks like Nyx will be your Siege the Day Riftstone victors.
Easy peasy.
Look at the chat.
GG's in the chat. Look at that. This is why PvP games are so sick. Like, look at this chat spam. This is just 2 Boonstones, and sorry, two guilds fighting over a Riftstone. And what's really cool is that all these Riftstone and Boonstone fights happen simultaneously on your server. So, almost like clockwork, at the same time, the entire global chat will just be people, you know, bantering back and forth and spamming GGs for all, you know, there's like a dozen, I think, Boonstones and Riftstones on the map, so it's going to be super fun when all of you at home get to experience it. But spam some GGs in the chat. What a great showing from both Nyx and from Just Play. That is my second favorite Riftstone to fight over, my first being Azrael. My guild coined it as the Grenton Stone. I've never lost on that stone. Adentis is my second favorite one. It is so fun to fight over. We saw some great plays from the guildies, but even the creators out there. I saw Danny trying to get some revenge on my Jin. It didn't work.
No, he's still.
But I mean, talk to me about how it felt. I mean, we're in comms for a little bit there. I was trying to do a little bit of French translation because there was some franglais going on.
It was brilliant. But it was Hetsu like doing his thing in English, and then all the the French creators just they're going wild.
Yeah,
it was brilliant. But that's like, even when you lose or you're having a difficult time, if you can keep that atmosphere, it just makes everything so much fun. So I think there's a little bit of rivalry with Just Play from KR, but I know it's all GGs all around and everyone's very, very good, but it's exhilarating. It's so much fun, and there's so many things that can change. Like as you said, we were up the top fighting, and they came, onto the stone there, and they were starting to cap, and it makes you think what you need to do. There's lots of different strategies and things, but yeah, that was awesome. It's always so much fun, but it's chaos.
Yeah, it's just coming in. It's like controlled chaos.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
So what was your kind of? It's controlled chaos. Your turning point. What was your favorite moment? If you had to pick one, and I know I'm asking a lot here, but if you had to pick one moment from that war.
I just ran in, and I can hear Etsu in the background like, "Save Danny! Save Danny! What's he doing out there? Save him!"
The pirate.
Yeah, what's he doing? I completely didn't listen to the calls and just ran in, and he just got everyone to jump on as well. And yeah.
So you could have single-handedly thrown the stone if that went
I tried, yeah.
You tried? Okay,
No,
you're Just Play sleepery.
I'll just put a bit of hard mode, for a little bit.
Of course.
Yeah, it's great fun.
Yeah, Just Play. This was actually a really smart play by them. It's always funny. Just Play, smart play, where they dropped the summon gate completely on the other side of where you would originally spawn.
It was just outside the
zone, exactly. So it's a very good use of the PvP zone. So for those of you at home who've never done a Stone War before, each Stone War, it's like this little paint zone that gets put around the stone, and you can see it on your mini map. It's like a translucent white, and if you're on the other side of that, you're in a safe zone, and if you are in the actual zone, you have about 5-second immunity, and then you can start fighting and being hit and healed, etc. So what Just Play did is they put their summon gate right on the edge, so they can come in, not get absolutely demolished just by spawning in, and then they can move into the PvP zone and engage on their terms. What's really tricky about that, when you're already in the PvP zone and a guild is doing that, is that you don't know who still has the immunity buff. So you're like spamming, Danny maybe spamming chain hook on someone. It's like, why is it not going? Why is it not going? Because he still has a couple seconds left of the immunity buff. We call it, you know, safe zoning, safe zonium. There's a lot of memes about guilds who kind of like stand on the border and only choose engages that are favorable to them. But that was a great use of a summon gate. It was, if that engage went different for Just Play, I feel like we have a very different Riftstone fight.
Yeah, and there was a bit where I cut you off. I was like, hey, Mr. Grenton,
é ao vivo, pô, tá sendo feito agora. Essa SIG é agora, tá ligado? A Arena 3x3 que estava dentro também foi minutos atrás. Sendo ao vivo é um evento mesmo, pô.
Oh, really? Yeah. Yeah. I was like, I'm getting intel from Danny now. Yeah, that was really cool.
Because you're listening to those comms and our comms as well, so.
It just, any scenario like this, what's exciting about this is that if you do this again in the next hour, then you have a completely different scenario again, because Just Play would have changed some strategies, or if you play a different team, then, you know, even though it's the same battleground, you're going to have different outcomes every time, and it's different numbers, different builds.
And that's what I want to talk about as well, is that's kind of what, it's called large scale, but I like to call that mid-scale PvP. It's capped, so guilds can only be one guild competing on each side, and guilds are capped to 70 players. Sometimes you won't have all 70 show up. In this case, obviously for a show match, both guilds are at capacity. There is smaller scale PvP, like we saw earlier today, the smallest scale being Arena, 3v3. And then as milestones unlock in Throne and Liberty, you're going to get something called Dominion events. So Dominion events are actually where you'll go to a zone, like Ruins of Terrain, which is where we were fighting today, and then you'll do an event where you have to kill these zombies, kill these skeletons, gather their loot, and then turn those in. And you'll be randomly put into 3 colors, one of 3 colors, red, blue, or green. You don't see the name of the person you're fighting, so it just says red, and for me it would just say blue if Danny's trying to attack me. And those are what I like to call smaller scale events. You can group up with 6 people. It's a lot less coordinated, and you're just kind of doing that PvE event while fighting. And then on top of that, if you do like a little bit larger scale, there are guild events that operate on the same schedule where your entire guild alliance can show up. And there we see some pretty big fights sometimes. So the PvP goes from 3v3 all the way up to Siege, where it's, you know, one alliance of 280 versus another alliance of 280 and another alliance of 280.
Me procura lá no TikTok.
There's something for everyone. I think you were talking about that earlier.
E ver como é que tá a live lá, se tá tranquilo, se tá de boa. Apesar que a webcam lá não está abrindo. Não sei porque não está reconhecendo.
2-player, 5-player, 6-player, 10-player. What I noticed recently was there's quite a lot of boonstones and riftstones now.
Acho que para pelo menos ver como está a imagem lá, o som.
I don't know if I want to join this server because this guild's too powerful.
Eu não consigo ver por aqui como é que tá o
Once the
resultado
game
da
starts to expand and you start to play,
da live.
I don't know how many there are.
I'm trying to count in my head right now.
I'm trying to
name the bosses.
But there's enough that if you are, you'll find the top guilds will fight over some stones, like because they're more valuable, and then there's just lots of smaller stones, so you can have small 10v10s. You might even find, you know, 15v20, 20v30, and it's completely different every time. And that was something that we saw recently, which is quite cool because it just.
And what's awesome is you can, with the QR code on your screen, if you don't have a guild yet, you can scan it, jump into the official Throne and Liberty Discord and find a guild. And that's, I think, a perfect point is how Stone Wars happen in Throne and Liberty is very simple. There's a guild ranking system that goes through guild activity points and guild reputation, which there are phenomenal guides online about if you want some more information about that. But if the rank 1 guild, for example, Nyx, declares that they want to fight for a dentist, and Grenton's guild, you know, the Bald Kings, who is rank 5, says, I also want to fight for a dentist. As long as no one who is above me in rank declares a dentist to fight against Nyx, I'll end up fighting it. So let's say Danny's guild is ranked 2nd on the server, and he says, I want to fight Nyx. He'll get that stone. I won't get my first choice. And you can declare up to 3 stones. So once you kind of pinpoint who you know the hardcore sweaty guilds are, if you want to have a friendly PvP match against maybe my guild only has 30 people. We don't have a full 70. Pancake's guild only has, 30 people. She doesn't have a full 70. We can be like, all right, let's both declare, this sandworm lair stone, so we can fight each other on more even ground. So you're not going to always go up against the top guilds on your server if you don't want to. And usually, especially up until the first siege, there's a lot of, not political sort of advantage, but there's a lot of sniping people's stones where they're trying to push top ranking guilds off the stone, because how Siege works in Throne and Liberty is the top guild on the server is going to be the guild that defends for the first siege. They get awarded the castle and it's like, okay, cool, you're on defense. So there's a lot of, all right, well, Pirates is ranked 1, they have the Adenta stone and the Great Claw stone, I need to push them off that stone so they don't get those activity points anymore for free for owning that stone, and we can kind of bump them down ranks. So there's a little bit of PvP for everyone, and I do want to kind of stress that because a lot of people are that I've seen online are kind of worried about, oh, I don't want to go to, like Danny said, this server because, Nyx is on there, or Pirates are on there, or Ethereum's on there. You'd never have to fight those guilds if you don't want to, and then for Siege, you can create this little coalition of guilds for yourself and still interact and have fun in Siege.
And I think that's what's important, that Discord allows you to find a group, because like you guys mentioned, there's just so many different kinds of people out there, and I know so many countries that are, requesting servers, and, I'm sure they are listening, so make sure you're, showing up not only for your region, but, if there are people out there, get in that Discord and find your crew.
Yeah, I mean, we heard the comms from Nyx. They seemed like they were having a blast.
Yeah.
So, hey, if that's something that you guys like, I'm sure Nyx is either still recruiting or they have allies that you can join. I know Pirates is going to be allied with Nyx as well for global. So there's a ton of guilds that you can join. You can find kind of a landscape that suits your humor, your culture, and your gaming style. And I don't know, I'm super excited. Tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow's the day.
Eu também tô extremamente enérgico para amanhã. Amanhã às 14 horas. Vai ser lindo. Vai ser lindo.
Intense combat, strategic plays, epic moments as guilds clash for the throne. Don't go anywhere. We'll see which team will claim victory for Stoneguard Castle in this massive siege right after this.
Elysium is a dangerous world. Hordes of demons, dangerous terrain, and even other hostile players could be lurking around every corner. There's safety and community in numbers, so join or create your own guild. Guild membership grants you access to a long list of bonuses and makes it easier to participate in server-wide activities. You can access special shops and supplies, additional resources, extra raids, conquest battles, and massive PvP castle sieges. Guilds are an important part of the Throne and Liberty experience. You're able to join a guild early on during your adventures. The sooner you join, the sooner you can take advantage of all the benefits guild membership has to offer. But first, you've got to find a guild. The in-game UI makes searching for a guild easy. More casual guilds may be open to any and all players, while more hardcore PvP and PvE guilds may require approval by guild leadership. You'll need your resume, 3 forms of identification, and... just kidding. Each guild will have its own requirements for membership, so make sure you know what you're signing up for. Don't forget to check out the recruiting channel in the official Discord to see what the community has to offer. Joining a guild in Throne and Liberty grants you access to exciting and challenging new activities. Contributing towards each guild's contract nets both you and your guild reputation, rewards, and resources. Capturing boonstones grants you vital buffs, while riftstones allow the controlling guild to summon a world boss who can drop powerful gear. But laying siege to an enemy castle is the ultimate way for a guild to claim the throne and the rewards it offers. By now, you're a member of a guild. You're organized, you've got the gear, and conquered the dungeons. Group up with hundreds of guild and alliance mates to claim the throne. Siege golems are a must-have for any serious invading force. You can transform into these massive stone monsters by purchasing the materials from the guild merchant. On the topic of serious forces, in any guild worth their salt, the guild leader calls the shots, their officers support them with strong tactics, and members execute the guild's plans to achieve shared goals. From the earliest levels to the endgame, guild membership in Throne and Liberty offers countless benefits. So log in, join up, and claim the throne.
Você faz. Você top demais, pô. $45.000 pessoas, cara, na live da Amazon Games. Se as 45.000 compraram, acho que não. Grande parte é free. Só dia 1. 18, 24, 30, 36. Bem capaz de ficar lotado, velho.
Seeking to claim the power of the stars for themselves. You must harness this celestial power. Fight back against the Archeum Legion and free our world. Silesium is a vast, living, breathing open world with diverse environments to explore and deadly enemies to defeat. Shapeshift into legendary creatures to carry you through the air and over the waves. Push back against the Legion in tactical combat across a seamless world. Take up arms and join others as you fight alongside fellow guild members. As your skill grows, you'll unlock powerful new abilities. Adjust your fighting style to counter your enemies. Use ranged attacks to draw your enemies in. Then swap to hard-hitting melee to finish them off. The Legion isn't the only enemy you'll need to fight. Battle other players in PvP dungeons. Player-controlled castle sieges. Open world combat. And conquest battles for territory. Gather your guild. Prepare for battle and claim the throne.
Welcome back to day 2 of Siege the Day, where creators and guilds from North America and Europe competing in a 3v3 arena, conquest battle, and castle sieges.
So far, we've seen some thrilling arena matches and a very intense battle for the Riftstone in today's conquest battle. But before we jump into the castle siege, I'd like to take a moment just to remind everyone that Throne and Liberty isn't just about PvP. PvE and MMOs is always a driving factor. It's the reason a lot of people stick around and a lot of people are, true fans of the game. And NCSoft definitely delivered on the PvE front as well. We just fought over a Riftstone known as the Adentis Riftstone, which, even if your guild doesn't own the Riftstone, Adentis will spawn on a schedule along with the other field bosses in Throne and Liberty, and it'll spawn half of the time in Conflict, which is PvP, and the other half of the time in Peace, which is PvE. So if you're, part of Grenton's Bald King guild and you don't have 70 people to go fight in these PvP battles, you can still go during the peacetime, go into one of the portals, experience that boss fight, and get some loot. A lot of people are very, into instance dungeons. That's kind of where the challenge of PvE content happens, and Throne and Liberty has got you covered there as well. There are 3 dungeons while you're leveling up to level 50 that you can do, and then at level 50 there are a handful of endgame dungeons which do have some spicy mechanics that will stump you a little bit on your first couple of runs. So a lot of fun PvE there, but I know there's a lot of gamers out there who really, really like open world grinding. The world is beautiful, as we've said many, many times, and these dungeons that are not instance, some of them are called Silence Abyss or, Shadow Crypt. These are open world dungeons which during the daytime you can go into, you can explore the multiple floors that they have. There's different loot tables, there's different bosses, different mini bosses, and you can kind of just go there and grind with your friends until it becomes nighttime. You're going to want to probably step out when the gates close or when you see the sun go down, because that's when it becomes a PvP area. So for those of you who like some, you know, chaotic free-for-all PvP, you'll want to visit those open world dungeons at night. But my personal favorite thing of the PvE content in this game is life skilling. They've recently added fishing, cooking, and Amatoy expedition into Throne and Liberty, with more to come. For those gatherers out there, that's not a life skill. Everyone can chop down trees, everyone can pick up flowers, everyone can mine some rocks. But for those of you who want to actually progress a life skill, fishing, cooking, and Amatoy expedition are the three main life skills in the game currently, and they all feed into each other. And cooking is particularly important. I didn't spend too much time on it yesterday, but I'd like to spend some time on it today, because not only are the foods you can craft extremely powerful, they give you great PvE buffs, PvP buffs. You could also drop a feast that your party and your guild can interact with, but you could actually also sell the food on the market to make some lucent. So it's a really good way for free-to-play players to kind of get into the auction house, start earning, you know, some lucent and progressing their characters. PvE content really is perfect for people who want to explore, want to battle epic bosses, and uncover the game's vast lore.
You had me at fishing.
I love fishing.
Fishing and cooking, the fact that you can make recipes to like make you stronger. Okay, can I have a pancake recipe, please?
I'm Grenton. You're gonna have to ask NC Soft.
NC Soft, if you're listening, pancake recipe. But the fishing, you sold me there. Anytime you can just go and turn mind off and just go fish, and actually it progresses you, I mean, I'm sold. I'm sold. But let's hear from NC Soft developers as they dive into the exciting PvE elements of Throne and Liberty.
그 여러 가지 성향의 유저들한테 뭐 하나에 집중하기보다는 어떻게 보면 이것저것 여러 가지의 다양성을 가지고 있기 때문에 다 만족시키지 못할 수도 있지만, 결국엔 저는 골고루 다양한 성향의 분들이 다양한 형태로 게임을 즐길 수 있는 MMO를 만들고 싶었고, 그래서 저희는 이제 전투라는 부분에서만 집중하지 않고 생활형 컨텐츠와 같은 부분들도 저희가 채워서 이번에 출시를 하게 되는 것 같습니다. 저는 이제 PvE 성향의 유저이고, 저희 이제 싱글 플레이를 하라는 그 컨텐츠가 있어요. 그 타이다리 탑이라고 하는 싱글 컨텐츠, 어떤 층을 계속해서 돌파하면서 어떤 미션을 달성하는 부분인데, 거기에서 되게 HP가 서로 적게 아주 조금 남았을 때까지 타이트한 어떤 경기가 일어나다가 맨 마지막에 승리를 했을 때의 희열이 제가 저희 TN을 느꼈을 때 되게 희열을 느꼈던 포인트 같습니다.
Whoa, okay, I saw that table of food right there, so...
Yeah, so that's actually a feast that you can make in the game. And the feasts give different buffs. So there's a feast that can give like PvP hit, PvP crit, so more hit rate for pretty much, I think it's up to 6 people. And then what's really cool and a little trolly is that if Danny and I are in different guilds and Danny puts down a feast, I could actually run to his feast and eat it and steal it from his guild. So we actually had a moment where we were doing a Boonstone war against a guild on Korea, and one of their members came up to us and dropped the feast as like a peace offering before the war started, which was super sweet. And then we just kind of went at each other's throats for 20 minutes, and then we're all hunky-dory after that.
Is there anything that you can make that could sabotage?
Well, you can kind of sabotage. So if it's like a PvP event, and then you make them a feast that like gives you PvE hit, it obviously doesn't do anything if you're hitting another player.
Pay attention
you can kind of troll. Yeah, pay attention to what you're eating before you eat it.
Well, yesterday we shared a brand new Throne and Liberty trailer for you. Just in case you missed it, let's watch it again.
Throughout the ages, many kings have risen to power in the eternal fight for the throne. Our loyalty belonged to one. Unity brought peace. But ambition bred betrayal. And an evil alliance was born. Then chaos descended without warning. Terror struck without mercy. And the kingdom we called home was ravaged without remorse. We fled with our hero, vanquished, not finished. But the throne
A
remains
história é muito massa, velho, Lore.
forever the prize for those bold enough to claim it.
Aquele golem vermelhão ali, feito de larva, é um jogador. Esse jogo é muito bom. Vou streamar muito tempo, velho. O mínimo, eu acho que é 10 horas por dia que eu vou streamar dele.
We saw some of your favorite things, the golems.
Oh, I love golems.
Yeah.
Yeah, that trailer was awesome. I'm usually a gameplay trailer kind of guy.
Okay.
But that sort of like the way they were telling the story, and then for those of you who've been inside Stoneguard Castle, that entire canvas of art was just right behind the throne room. So they really incorporated the world pretty well there, and probably the coolest outro I've seen for a Throne and Liberty trailer yet.
Yeah, any thoughts over there on that
trailer?
Very artistic trailer?
For people who haven't played yet, taking that what you saw there, when you start to play through the story, you start to get that level of quality throughout the game as well. It's wicked. So yeah, play it. Absolutely play it, because that level of cinematics starts to tell stories, and yeah, just epic. It's just epic. Yeah.
Well, up next, we'll dive into one of the most epic events in Throne and Liberty, the Castle Siege.
Guilds will clash in the large-scale PvP battle, and they'll battle to breach not only the castle gates and defenses, but they will attempt to claim the throne.
Let's take a closer look at these intense castle sieges and how they unfold in Throne and Liberty.
The moment has arrived for Throne and Liberty's castle sieges. Massive battles where guilds and their allies fight for dominance. In this high-stakes PvP mode, our creators will be joining forces with guilds to either storm the castle or defend it at all costs. Attackers have 45 minutes to breach the gates and take control of the throne room. If the battle extends into overtime, an additional 3 minutes will be added to determine the victor. Siege ruins offer strategic advantages, like teleportation and summoning siege golems, massive player-controlled units that can devastate enemy defenses. Defenders are fortified within the castle, using every available resource to hold their ground. From reinforced positions to environmental traps, like the castle's sewage system and gate levers. Victory requires strategy, coordination, and adaptability. Who will conquer the fortress, and who will be left in the dust?
Yeah, that's a great video breaking down what a castle siege is. Yesterday I spoke for what seemed like an eternity on golems, so I'll be talking a little bit about that later. And I do want to take just a quick moment to shout out one creator who did a phenomenal video on castle sieges. So if you're new to Throne and Liberty, or you just want more information on that, definitely check out Nelly J, NELLYJAI, who did a under 7-minute video, probably closer to 6 minutes, on what a castle siege is, some different strategies that you can do, and he went through and explained everything super clearly and in a way that even a brand new player can understand. For the upcoming castle siege, though, we're going to be going into a 1v1v1 combat. So one alliance will be defending and 2 alliances will be attacking. They're all going to be fighting to claim the throne. So Dalucard and Jesse Rocks will be joining Matashi's guild, the Legionnaires, and they will be defending with the alliance composed of Just Play, Sanguinis, and Zakon. Zerator and Lappy are going to be teaming up with Tauntaun's guild, Wee Wee Baguette, and they'll be teaming up with Woe, Quintessence, and Hand of Unity to form our first attacker group. And the second attacker group will be led by Baggins TV's guild, Rohirrim. Shout out that one movie. We will join attacker group 2, who's consisting of Pirate Gaming, Key, and Sovereign. To make viewing a little bit easier, we've color-coded these team names for you so you can kind of understand what's going on. And at the beginning, it's going to be pure chaos. In the middle, it's going to make a bit more sense. And at the end, guess what? More chaos.
I love the chaos. Control chaos, all the chaos. Well, here comes our third poll. Who do you think will siege the day and take the throne? Chat, I need you to show up over here. Who's it going to be?
We got some movement.
Okay,
A, B, or C.
okay. Yeah, A, B, or C.
Full biased. Je veux Oui Oui Baguette qui gagne. Les amis français, I want you guys to win. Oui Oui Baguette. Thank you so much.
Oh man,
you guys got this.
It's very like even keel right now.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's dead even. It's actually dead even. There are so many people in chat. I think the chat broke like 3 times already. At least on our monitor. It is going. It is going.
All right.
A, B, C, A, B, C, A, B, C. Well, Dan, how do you feel going into the siege?
I'm very excited. I'm just catching up with the team now, Paragaming, just before it all kicks off, and everyone's the energy in the Discord is just unrivaled. You know.
We can hear a little bit of it.
So I just got word from our rocket scientists that the Legionnaires won by a sliver on that poll. So no pressure for your alliance on defense, but again, chat's currently 1-1. They said you were going to win the arena. That obviously didn't happen. You couldn't even win the pity match. And they said you're going to win the war on the Wriststone, which you did. So I'll give you some respect there. But I think it was more Nyx than you. But this time, you have a full alliance at your back with other great creators who are going to hopefully be able to carry you to a victory in the siege.
Yes, I'm hoping I can provide a slightly different angle for this, because I'm going to be in a slightly different Discord, leading Paragaming on this particular bit.
Nice. With
some backup caller. Staff's going to be up there as well. Banana's in another TeamSpeak open with the other creators. There's a lot of organisation going into this, and hopefully I don't just get one shot straight off the bat. And
all right, well, we've heard enough from you. Put your headset on and get ready for Siege, because I want a good show.
Well, this battle will require teamwork, tactical mastery, and the capacity to overcome the most chaotic, vicious PvP battle man has ever known. It is time to siege the castle.
Agora, pô.
And here we go. In
Agora,
great fashion,
olha
we're
quantos
going to have
jogadores
the
voando.
defending alliance here who's going to jump off the castle wall and try to find to disrupt the siege ruin. So if you were here yesterday,
break it down for me, for those who have never seen this before. What are we looking at?
So right now you see on the top of your screens, there are the defending alliances are going back to cap the resurrection stones. That's important because otherwise, if you're a guild that is not the defending guild, so right now as you see Just Play at the top of the screen on the right, they're the occupying guild. So if you're not in Just Play and you're in their alliance and you die, you won't respawn inside the castle walls until you have a resurrection point. So that's why you see those resurrection points. There's 3 of them. It's the second to last row. And we do have our first golem on the battlefield. This is a jump attacker golem. And this is where they're going to be able to jump on top of the wall and kind of disrupt the attackers or the defenders here. And here's the jump. And now he has to kind of just create chaos because the entire blue alliance now is at the gates. They're going to try to poke. They're going to try to create some space. But it's very important that the attackers are able to get the gate crasher, the gate hammer, and the stone crasher golem as fast as possible. If you just pan to the left a little bit on this castle wall, you're going to see some yellow pillars. Those are the levers that you can use. You see them on the right of your screen. You can pull those levers and open the main gate without breaking the wall.
Essa live é em tempo real, Cleiton. É agora que tá tendo a SIG lá no jogo. Desceu ali. E vai sair aí pra fazer o objetivo dele. E a galera atrás para defender. Consequentemente, aquele ponto vai ficar com menos jogador, ou seja, enfraquecido, tá ligado? E ele indo fazer o objetivo dele. Esse é um jogador. Se não me engano, é isso.
The 2 attacking alliances decided to fight each other outside. This just kind of shows you the chaos of Siege. And we actually see, we're going to jump into Danny's POV so we can hear him leading his pirates.
Up to 8 and then over to 9. Go fast, go fast, go fast, go fast.
Cool the door, banana. So there's simultaneously different things happening.
Oh, actually, it looks like someone opened the exterior gate. They managed to get someone sneaky to open the outer wall gates. The faster the attackers realize this, this might be an insane siege. It looks like there's people in the throne room already.
Ira que eles fizeram isso, cara, foram...
This doesn't happen. That means someone was able
Pô, foi muito rápido, cara. E aí? Chegou no trono, pegou ali e agora é só defender. Ele é o príncipe, tá ligado? Tem 74 jogadores já protegendo ele, 76, 5, fica variando, 77, 83, 86, 90. Essa troca de numeração são a quantidade de jogadores para proteger ele. Se passar 3 minutos com ele na forma de príncipe, ele toma o castelo.
Oh my god, limones. Limones. Las naranjas se fueron.
Caramba, eles entraram por trás, pelo caminho do esgoto. Porque pelo caminho do esgoto você se transforma, se você tem skill de teleporte, você pode teleportar pro rato, atravessar as grades, tá ligado? O que fizeram aí, cara? Os caras usaram essa tática, macho. Se passar os 3 minutos, já era. 1 minuto e 45 agora. Abaixo tá tendo o segmento do que tá sendo feito. Foi só ir a pancadaria agora. Se o cara conseguisse manter, velho, durante esse tempinho, GG. O trono é da guilda dele. É muito rápido, velho. Se não cobrir, se não usar uma estratégia correta, já era. Insano, insano.
So if we look back, that gate should be closed. And this gate here that you saw before we cut to the outside fight is the gate that leads you from the courtyard into the inner courtyard, excuse me. This is the battle carrier golem. So you actually use that to transport your troops around, and until the outer gate falls, you can actually use this. You walk up against the wall, and then your guild jumps over. But look at this, there's still the fight in the throne room.
E a batalha tá rolando ali. 36 segundos pra acabar, velho. Se acabar o tempo, ninguém pegar o trono, acabou-se. Acabou a SIG. Eita, pegaram, ó. Derrubaram o líder, o príncipe. Agora alguém vai ter que ir lá pegar de novo. Tem inimigo.
Amazon also did release a roadmap that goes up until, I believe, the first castle siege. So you'll be able to see when the sieges will take place as well on their website, alongside the other milestones. So it looks like Blue Team is just absolutely running through this throne room, essentially. And Danny had to recap the throne, it looks like, because he died. So another 3-minute timer is going to be put on the clock. And on the outside, you see the big golem here shouldering the wall. That is our stone crasher golem. It's the one that's made to destroy the outer walls. And we have the battle carrier golem here on the left side. People are grappling up. And now this is truly what a chaotic siege looks like.
Oh my goodness. I want to know, so like as these two golems, we've talked about like they actually don't last for very long. So you have to strategically like time it well.
Yeah, so golems have a limited like health pool. Some golems, like the gate hammer, which we'll see later on, it's not able to be spawned in yet, it's on a timer, is like this little fire golem. That kind of ticks its own health down as it goes, but the golems themselves have a timer to make sure that you can't just sit in the golem for the entire siege. And then the outer gate looks like it's been destroyed, so I'm not sure if that's one of the walls that has fallen on one side, but it looks like you can hear it too. This stone crasher golem is just beating up the walls here and trying to create an opening for a more consistent flow coming in. But whoever managed to open that outer gate completely changed the landscape of this. And you can actually see, look at this. Can we go back into the throne room if we have eyes? It looks like the castle might flip to the blue team.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go right side.
The red defenders, look, the blue team has control of the castle siege. For those of you at home who think everybody looks the same, we did this on purpose for the siege. We color-coded the 3 alliances. In a regular gameplay, all you'll be seeing is guild emblems. Everyone will have their outfits or their gear on. But for this event, we are mimicking a Dominion event with different color cloaks, so it's a little bit easier for you at home to see who's on whose team. But it looks like the blue team, I'm not sure if it was blue or green.
Is just
yeah, this is a bloodbath here.
So what do you do in this like chokehold situation here? Like, I mean, is there another gate?
Yeah, so this is the main gate into the throne room, and to the right of this, there is a respawn point for the occupants of the castle, and there's a little bit of an L corridor that lets you get back into the throne room. This is the only way into the inner courtyard. except right behind where the camera is, there is another sewer system that you can kind of swim through and get to. But blue looks like they just took the castle, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe blue is the Wee Wee Baguette Alliance. Maybe I can get confirmation on that. But it looks like they took, it is the Wee Wee Baguette Alliance. They have taken control of the throne room, and if that guild leader is not killed within the next 45 seconds, they will become the occupants of the castle, which means no green guild will be able to spawn where that L corridor is, and they'll have to spawn at those resurrection points. And as you can see, there's currently 2 green alliance guilds who hold one of the res points and 1 red one. And the pillage points, which aren't as important in this siege, but they will be for a real siege. Those pillage points, you can steal Lucent and Solent from the guild who wins the castle by claiming those pillage points throughout the castle map. Right now, not as important. Everyone just wants the glory of having the throne for their alliance. But in the real game, it's a nice way to get some extra money, even if your guild isn't one of these dominating alliances. And finally, we have an outer wall that has been destroyed, or almost destroyed. And it looks like that gate crasher, that stone crasher golem is still going very hard. He's punching the gate, which is interesting. So you see the gate now is popped open because he's been punching the gate. For those of you at home, you can punch either side of the gate. So you see where that crevice is right now, and that'll kind of create a complete opening in the wall. As you just saw it happen there, that's part of the health that has been falling. And then once it's completely destroyed, will go down. This is super cool. We actually have a scoreboard for you as well. If we can just go back to that real quick, we can kind of see how the guilds and the individual alliances are participating. Wee Wee Baguette, the creator guild, actually at the top of the leaderboard for kills with Hand of Unity, and I believe that is key in 3rd place. So this is a good way of seeing how many kills and assists you had as an individual guild, how much time you controlled the golem, how much damage you've done to the inner gate, and how many captures you've had on the rest stones or on the pillage points. But we're going to jump back into Danny's POV because this siege now has flipped and Quintessence owns the castle.
So did they... Inner gate story is half.
Ah não, é o código da instalação isso.
Crazy, just stay there and take it off the allies once they get it back. Move for me, we're going to go to the finish point and then just move towards the inner gate, see if we can see what's going on there. Nice.
Ponta do cliente.
Don't worry about the finish zone.
70.
Go left. Right. We're going to try and control
85.
Beautiful.
34.
5-second regroup. Okay, fighting in mid, 3, 2, go left once you come out, go left. We're going to take this main respawn. Big fight here, big fight here.
Huge fight,
Moving through. We're actually going to go through because we've got allies behind. Moving through. Big sleep.
Very good ball.
Move through, move through. Support the allies at the back. Inner gate still up. Just hold him here, hold him here. Can we get one? Can we ask them to bring? Do we have any allies to call us? Can we bring them in? We need that inner gate down. Or let's just hold our respawn here. Can we ask allies to stop taking our respawn? That'd be lovely. Sovereign. I see you. Have words with him, please, Banana. Okay. Yeah, we can just chill here. That gate's still up.
Yeah, so we heard a...
We need to get the goal.
Look at the whale. So this is actually our homie. I like to call him Jigentrite. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but that's how Grenton pronounces it. And this is cool because I'm not sure if there's any guilds on the whale right now, but in a regular siege, this whale will sometimes fly over the castle, and you can actually ride the whale and kind of paratrooper off the whale into the castle, which is super cool. There was actually a guild that won a siege by doing that in Korea. So W's in the chat for the whale, star of the show. And we have a big contest here. This is the central resurrection point. There's another one in the top left that we're just panning to, and then on the back right of the map by the gate that opened, that's the other resurrection point. And if you die, all the way in the back on the top left of your screen, you'll see a little platform. That's where you spawn, no matter if you're defending or attacking. The only guild that will always spawn inside the castle is currently Quintessence, because they're the ones who own the throne. The rain has also been activated.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I know that there was some stuff with the rain and getting stuck in...
There was a specific guild that got stuck in the sewers on Korea, and what I mean by that is there are 2 sewer entrances. When it rains, those sewers flood, and if you're in there, you're stuck. Not only that, it will allow environmental buffs, so it'll treat every character as wet. And there's certain skills in the game, like Chain Lightning or Judgment Lightning from Staff, that deal more damage and sometimes even chain together when the targets are wet. So we have a very wet siege for you today as well, ladies and gentlemen, not only a chaotic one. And this is a great showing from all three alliances. It could still go anyone's way. I'm curious if there's, well, now that the door is closed on the outside and the inner gate is still up, Quintessence just managed to flip the castle, and now we're in a regular siege, so to speak, where they have to. This is my favorite golem. This is my boy. It's my son. It's the Gate Hammer Golem. He can shoot a big fireball at his chest. His job is just to walk straight. You just go straight, my man, and you go right to that inner gate. Nope, go straight to the inner gate. Listen to Grenton. Oh no, you're going the wrong way. He's trying to farm some kills. Let him cook. All good. But you want to bring that golem to the inner gate, because it does a lot of damage to that inner gate. That is my child. But this is actually not a terrible use of him either if he's trying to secure the central res point for his team. It does a lot of pulsating AoE damage, but now look at this. He's coming up to that inner gate. He can use the shoulder charge. This right here does a lot of AoE. There's the shoulder charge, gonna do a lot of damage. Fireball probably next. And then the inner gate's probably gonna come down pretty quickly. So you have to be very careful. Now there's the fireball. And if you want to, again, get into the game early, make sure you pick up an early access pack. Early access starts tomorrow, so don't miss out. You can get some of these exclusive cosmetics like you're seeing on the screen, and you can experience sieges like this a little bit sooner, right, than full launch servers. But, I mean, this is just a showcase of three alliances, or I was kind of concerned that some of them might not know what they were doing.
Sure.
But this looks like a very coordinated siege. Oh, yeah. I've been so surprised on the EU day. The arenas, the Riftstone battle, and now this siege. All these guilds look like either the callers have been playing for a long time, everyone's working together.
Gamers, man.
They're just gamers. Gamers being gamers, chat. Gamers being gamers. And we're gonna just, that inner gate, if you look at the top right of your screen, there is one sliver of health left on that inner gate, and that is when kind of pandemonium ensues. There's still 30 minutes left in the siege, which is wild, because in 15 minutes, we've had a flip of the castle and the inner gate being broken.
While other things are also simultaneously happening.
Yeah, exactly. While there's a bunch of stuff happening, and they're just trying, and this is obviously a good call from the blue side, the defenders. They're just trying their best to destroy this golem before he destroys the gate.
How do you destroy your son? Sorry.
Hopefully you don't, but you just attack him. His health will tick down because the golem is on fire, so he does have a dot on him.
Okay, so the rain doesn't affect him or anything?
The rain doesn't affect him. That would be kind of interesting if the rain kind of like doused the fire a little bit and weakened him.
Yeah, just a little tick on him.
This is how you destroy a golem. You just have a bunch of people pelting him over and over and over again.
Not your son.
Yeah, obviously these builds are, everyone's on the same level. You can see he's about half health, and boom, there goes the inner gate. This is where it becomes a true free-for-all. All three alliances are going to try to funnel into that inner gate. Resurrection Point 3 is what I call it, which is the resurrection point right near the gate that was opened at the beginning, is the only resurrection point inside the inner courtyard, which is going to be very important for guilds to hold. And then the only other guild that can spawn inside the inner courtyard is Quintessence, since they currently own the castle. And again, this is like what I like to call like Hell's Choke, because if you're running through this, odds are you're not coming out the other side alive. And there's two other ways to get into the inner courtyard. Going through the sewers, which because of the rain, you can't do anymore. Or on the current right of your screen, there is a bridge that is right next to the gate that was opened at the beginning that you can open to open the bridge to then have a second point of entry. Because if everyone's trying to open the bridge funnel in here, which we see the blue alliance trying to do, it's a bloodbath. This is where you go to farm kills if you're a crossbow dagger player or a tank.
But that gate does have a cooldown.
Yeah, so if it gets open, the defenders can't just go back and close it. They have to wait a bit of time. But I think opening now, trying to get a stealth group or two to get through is probably your best bet. You got to try to get those gates open, because these, like, it looks like, I believe this is Shengu. Yeah, so this is Shengu, who's on the Gate Hammer Golem. He's part of the original defenders.
Man, he is just taking heat over here. Wonder you love him.
Not only do I love this golem, but I also love this player. I've been playing against him for quite some time.
Okay.
Very good tank, and he's doing a really good job of just kind of keeping the entire Blue Alliance at bay. And you see behind the golem, there is another 1v1 happening between the Red Alliance and the Green Alliance, while the Blues who are defending, they're just trying to kill this golem.
Yeah.
They just want this golem gone, and the health of that golem is slowly but surely dropping down. Also, for those of you at home, for the early access packs, everything you see on the outfit of the character is completely dyeable. So if you're not a fan of pink horns, or you're not a fan of, you know, the outfit colors, you can completely change those colors within the in-game dyeing system, which is super cool because I like the all-black look.
I need all goth.
Yeah, we got gothified a little bit. So these horns can change colors, the outfits can change colors, the frills can change colors, everything can change colors on the outfits here, which is awesome. I was kind of worried, not worried about it, but curious about it before Amazon confirmed it in one of their most recent posts. So that's going to be super cool to see how people maybe do like a little Power Ranger team or something with a rainbow.
Okay, or just theme, you know, the seasons do happen, I know, but this is why you also want to follow on socials and be part of the Discord, because you don't want to miss out on these events.
Yeah, and then here we have, look at it, another use of high ground, right?
Okay.
So they're just using, are they jumping down or are they coming up? Yeah, we have a lot of, maybe we could jump back into Danny's POV for this engage, I'm not sure.
Don't fight bottom, allies fight bottom, we push up.
Whoa.
Nice. Yeah. Full damage on top of the buildings. All focus buildings.
Yeah, this is my favorite place to fight as a tank.
Okay.
But Danny died, so can we laugh at him, please?
Sorry, Danny.
Chat, get them wajaja for Danny in there. We've cut to his POV and he instantly dies.
You cast a curse.
He's role-playing as canon today. But we do have another guild now trying to spin this resurrection point.
How long does that take?
It's about, I believe, a 10-second cap, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, not too
But you have
long.
so much going on that you just, it's hard to just place yourself there.
Yeah, it's very much, I mean, anyone can cap these. It doesn't have to be like a guild officer.
Okay.
So you can send anyone from your guild to cap this. Sometimes there's a little like inter-alliance drama or bickering because like, okay, we said Pirate Gaming was gonna get Resurrection Point 2, but now your guild's capping it. Oh, get off my Resurrection Point. So maybe it creates some chaos internally too for a lot of these guilds. And Danny is in my favorite golem. Danny, you are my son now, so don't let me down. He's gonna be walking. You can see the golem POV here, which is great. His action bar changes. He only has 3 skills. One is the shoulder charge, one is the fireball, and the other one kind of just lights him on fire and does AoE around. So we get some golem POV here, ladies and
Lots pouring through that main gate. We'll make a play soon. Let's try and hold mid for a bit and then we'll make a play.
Oh.
Danny nerfed.
Danny nerfed.
Nerfed again.
Danny got nerfed. Danny DC'd, unfortunately, but I mean, he's just, as you can see, he's just dancing there.
Oh.
But the rest of the siege plays on. We're gonna have someone from production jump in and take a look at that, but
Put you back in.
you're too strong.
Yeah.
They're like, we can't have you in the
He can't be in the golem.
Yeah, the game was like, we need to make this siege fair. So we'll still be seeing the fight going on as Danny gets back in the game so he can call his team. But again, that Gatehammer golem, now that the Gatecrasher, excuse me, or Gatehammer, now that the inner gate's open, it's not as impactful anymore because you want the fight to happen inside that inner courtyard.
Okay.
And inside that inner courtyard is a no golem zone.
Oh.
There's really no way to get a golem in there, or at least I haven't figured it out yet. So if someone at home can get a golem in here, let me know.
Can I ask a question?
You sure
Can golems fight each other?
Yeah, golems can do damage to other golems. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So if an enemy team has a golem, like let's say the Stone Crasher golem, at the beginning you can have a jumper golem start doing damage to it, which is kind of cool. This is the most important resurrection point to fight over. I believe it's called Resurrection Point 3. It's the one that's right next to the throne room. And at the beginning of the siege, the door that was right behind the camera right now is the one that got open. And you see that little yellow pillar in the bottom right as it disappears? That's what someone needs to pull it. We need 2 people to pull it to let people come in. But the Blue Alliance is just doing such a phenomenal job of keeping control of this courtyard. There is still 22 minutes left in this siege. Sieges usually will start on the hour. There'll be 15 minutes of prep. So you can tell which alliance is taking which, res point, so there's no drama. And then 45 minutes of this, pure carnage. And sieges can go into overtime. if someone usurps the throne, until that player is dead or until that 3-minute timer has elapsed, the siege will not end.
Whoa.
Even if the timer goes down to 0.
We love some overtime. I mean, we've seen very close games in this event, so.
Yeah, the entire 2-day event so far has had some pretty close games. The Boonstone War yesterday went into overtime. The Riftstone War today had phenomenal plays from both guilds. And again, we're in the dead man's choke here, where they're just trying to make it through this inner gate, but they're just going to get pelted by AoEs. These vortex arrows are just going to lock down this entryway, and that's why it's so important to try to find an opportunity to open that bridge gate. And it looks like we have, that's Baggins TV. Hopefully his community is loving this golem POV as well. This is a jumper golem. Does a lot of damage.
Pancada da gota, hein?
It jumps. So you can get up on roofs, you can get up on castle walls, or you can just jump on people on the floor. And that's exactly what he's doing here. It looks like he's popping his defensive buff, and he's trying to find some damage here. It looks like we had a little hiccup in the server, but it looks like we're back. Maybe that was just an observer POV issue there, but looks like we're back in the action. Nothing to worry about. And again, we just see how tanky these players are, and it's just how the tanks are using Blood Devotion. And I know that's something, and I'm going to give credit where credit's due. The person who put me onto this tech was Scythologies from Pirate Gaming. On the Hyperboost server, he said, Grenton, this new skill's insane. We tested it together, and I was like, oh my goodness, you are right. And now a lot of guilds are incorporating this Blood Devotion tech to keep their parties alive, and we're seeing it pay off in tenfold here with how tanky these players are. And this is true castle siege fashion. You have the high ground, you're on the castle walls, you're defending your castle against the attackers who are trying desperately to breach the gates. This is honestly just poetic. And we have the blue side as well pushing out from inside the castle gate, trying to push away the Green Alliance. I haven't seen the Red Alliance in quite a bit, so maybe they're trying something a little sneaky.
Okay.
I'm not sure if my eyes see me. It looks like it is still raining. Maybe the rain has stopped, and then at a certain point, those sewers will drain, and they'll become available for use once again.
So I see the chat is asking how many players are actively playing right now.
So today, if I'm not mistaken, there should be 3 alliances of 280 players each.
Okay.
Which, if my math is correct, that's 569. I don't know, math is hard. I shouldn't do math on stream.
Just a lot.
You know, 560 plus 200, 840.
Woo!
We got there. 840 players. On the first Korean siege, I believe there was north of 2,000 players.
Eita, pô, ficou desconectado, cara.
Thankfully, it's our observers that are disconnecting, which I think is a good thing. Our players seem to be untouched.
They're having a great time in there.
But I hear the observers laughing in the background too, so I think everyone's having a great time. But there was north of 2,000 players in the first castle siege on the largest server of Khazar. So it gets hectic. And these servers, honestly, we're on a private build. We're on a build that has some of the old patch, some of the new patch. It is a private client. This is not what you're going to have in the live game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just an issue with the server cams. And honestly, I think I've done, I don't know, sieges every 2 weeks. I've been playing the game for 10 months. The first siege unlocked 2 months into the game. So you do the math this time, chat. I think I've DC'd from a max of like two sieges.
Oh.
So the game actually runs phenomenally well in large-scale battles. There's actually an option in the game. There's an option in the game to tick on to optimize large-scale combat, and that helps a lot in sieges like this. But we're back. Danny's in the golem.
Let's go,
Take 2, and we'll see. There's 18 minutes left in the siege. There's still a lot of time, and this is just, again, a great showing for the siege. I'm glad we were able to show you some of this chaos, because this is why a lot of people play and stick around in Throne and Liberty. So he's just going to kind of walk towards where the conflict is.
Tô achando estranho não ter tido mais príncipe.
This play out, and just you can watch how cool, you know, siege golem gameplay is.
Disengage, boys, and take it.
We can clear their high ground. Gates up.
Oh no, they're just nerfing Danny every time. Poor Danny, maybe the golem and you aren't meant to be.
Yeah, I won't try.
It's a divorce. But we still got about, like I mentioned, 18 minutes in the siege. Still no one has been able to contest the blue side here. And this is kind of where last-minute politics can happen.
What do you mean by that?
So there's 3 alliances.
Sure.
But there's one goal. Everyone wants the throne, right?
Yep.
Currently, blue, for the last 35 minutes, have had control of the inner throne room. So if I'm part of the Red Alliance or I'm part of the Green Alliance, maybe they're talking to each other, say, hey, let's not hit each other until we at least get into the throne room, where we flip the throne. sometimes something like that can happen. These last-minute alliances where it's, okay, well, we know we can't beat this guild 1v1v1 because everyone's just killing each other and they have defender's advantage. But let's get in there, let's shake things up, and then all bets are off, let's drop the gloves and let's go. So I've seen that happen many times on Korea. I've seen betrayals at the last minute where someone in the blue alliance goes and opens the door and betrays their own alliance. So it's very, very political.
Have you done that?
No comment. I will not confirm nor deny the allegations.
Okay.
I am but a humble tank. But it looks like we do have still a bloodbath happening at this central resurrection point. It is currently owned by a member of the Blue Alliance. And you see the Green Alliance here trying to kind of spin it back. And this is, again, I'm not sure what the Green Alliance is kind of, I guess they want to get the rest point and then push. But they need to kind of make some space here for the rest of their guilds and alliances. And still, on the top left of your screen, you can't see it right now, but there is a bridge, and they need to open that to create another point of entry into the castle. The rain has stopped. So the sewer should be at one point fully drained, and you'll be able to kind of swim through there. And then there'll be 3 points of entry into the courtyard, and that's where it's going to get a little bit more chaotic. But again, look, the red team and the blue and the red team and the green team are simply just fighting each other. This is Baggins' alliance and the Danny's alliance. They're just kind of going at each other's throats. And the blue team, which is Wee Baguette, are just kind of chilling in the back. They're just doing their thing. And this is a defender's dream, when the two attackers are kind of just fighting within each other and not really kind of focusing on actually taking the throne, but more so just kind of farming kills or having fun with their communities. As a guild who wants to win the castle, this is great. I believe I saw a message that one of the gates have opened. I'm not sure if we can pan to the inner courtyard to kind of take a look at that and see if any of those gates have opened on the right side of the inner courtyard. But it looks like green has finally flipped. Oh no, it just got flipped back by blue. But green does have, oh, there's a ton of, Matashi actually flips the castle wall resurrection. That's the outer one. And it looks like we have someone trying to cap the throne, they instantly died. Whoa. Someone else tried to cap the throne.
Eita, alguém pegou o trono.
Get into the throne room if we can, ladies and
Bora,
gentlemen.
câmera, bota lá dentro onde tá o líder, cara.
And there is a little bit of a fight going outside, but it looks like Quintessence managed to kill whoever was trying to usurp the castle. And look at this, this is absolute chaos. They've opened the gate. This is the gate I was talking about. Both gates are open, the outside gate and the inner gate. This is going to allow a complete different point of entry. You're not going to have to go through that dead man's choke. And you see they're trying to close it, but they have to do it at the same time, which they did. They managed to close the outer gate, and they live to fight another day. This is just absolute insanity. This is what you have to do as defenders to own a siege. And the alliance of Wee Baguette with Quintessence on the castle throne, they're just putting on a clinic right now. This is textbook castle siege defense.
Ooh.
I'm glad we were able to get that shot for you as well. And that's all you have to do if you're on Danny's alliance or if you're on Baggins' alliance, Rohirrim. Name of the game is to do that more often. So if you can do that more often, you saw there was a bit of a flip happening in the throne room, and if both alliances kind of push in, that's where you're going to be able to kind of take it back from the blue alliance, which is Wee Baguette.
Okay, get ready. We're gonna push mid, and if we last, okay, then we're gonna do the.
All right, so it looks like Danny. I just heard Danny make a call. They're gonna push down the middle here, and they're gonna kind of do it as a little bit of a contact play is what I call it. So they're going to be pushing in to kind of see how the defenses look like. If they die, they have a res point, so they're not going to spawn too far, and they can pivot their strategy. So it looks like we're going to jump into Danny's POV now, and we're going to see this push happen.
Okay, get ready to push my gate in 5, 4, 3, everybody, 2, 1, and you can go to die. Okay, you play to die. We're going to do this.
Play to die, my favorite call.
Try and hold main, but someone's taking off me. One other tank with me, please. Another tank hold. Try and stop these guys capping it.
Guardians just got popped, so Danny just popped his ultimate ability, which is the Green Ranger element. It's on a 10-minute cooldown, there's a few that you can kill.
Magic Symbiont, Neville, go, Mr. O, go.
Getting fired up in the booth.
You're not listening, move through. They're going to cap it, it's too late.
You can tell how intense if you're not listening to your IGL, the cons, it could be, you know, your last attempt. Yeah, you have to be able to set your role and focus up on that.
Everyone go through and die.
Exactly, and we saw him pop the ultimate ability. It's called a Guardian in this game. As you progress through the story and you do different quests to unlock these Guardians, that Guardian that he popped around him. I believe it's a 3 to 5 meter range. It'll root everyone. So it's really good for tanks. They'll charge in, pop it, they'll isolate and lock down a clump of people, and then the rest of their guild can kind of go through and kill them. We see the Blue Alliance actually popping some guild buffs here. Range looks like it got popped. That blue pillar that you saw hit everyone. Range and mana regen just got popped. Looks like the Red Alliance actually did as well. The Jumper Golem this is a great spot for the Jumper Golem to be on, because the worst thing you want is to just give 20, 40, 50 mages and archers high ground advantage.
DPS, please.
So having a golem up here kind of makes them second guess it. They have to pull back. But it looks like now they're trying to finally make some space here and push into the inner courtyard. We have about 10 minutes, 11 and a half minutes left of siege. And this is, again,
I need you to do this.
It can come down to the wire.
Leaps through. Move in. Just send it through.
So you see up behind us there, there's a lot of people trying to fight on that bridge. I'm not sure if the gate is open. Maybe we can fly over there and take a look.
Oh, the golem just
jumped over the wall, and the gate is open. So this is another point of entry. This is what I'm talking about. You've got to keep this gate open. If you can open the outer one, cool. But this gate is the one you have to try to keep open if you're an attacker, because otherwise, so he's trying to get in. I don't think he knows that he can get in the inner courtyard. But if this is a golem part of your alliance, this is allowing you kind of a choke. It looks like the defenders did manage to close it.
Okay.
So they're going to have to try to open it from the other side again. It looks like that's exactly what's happening. There's one person spamming one of them, but again, you need 2 people to open that gate.
Teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work, baby. And this is why I love castle defense, because there's a lot of these little micro situations that can happen, and boom, the gate is open again. So this is, again, just phenomenal attacker strategy, textbook defense. In the last 10 minutes of this siege, it's going to be an absolute bloodbath. I'd like to see if we can maybe pull up the scoreboard real quick now that we're in the final 10 minutes of play, so we can take a look at if the same guilds are performing as strong as they were at the beginning, or if the other guilds are kind of catching up there. So we'll see if production can pull that up for us at one point. But right now, it looks like there's still an absolute bloodbath happening at this inner courtyard.
Oh,
and as we see here, Sovereign actually climbing it. Wee Wee Baguette, a creator guild, still in second place. Hand of Unity with 892 kills. And Pirates from the Ashes have come up with 849. It looks like the Green and the Blue Alliance are the 2 alliances that are really dominating the top 10 spots of these scoreboards. But we're going to be going to Danny on set.
Get in here, boys. There's 1,000 enemies in here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the boys have got a...
There's nothing more than I love. There's nothing more than I love. Adding to Danny's POV and him dying, but he's happy about it. His boys are performing really well. The cats are courage. If Brenton says we're cutting to you, pop your defensives, I guess. And this is still the carnage that's happening at the outer gates.
Okay.
This is what I mean. Siege is absolutely chaos, because we were just spending the last 10 minutes at the inner gate. But there's still all of this happening on the outer gates as well. And this is, again, something that is just unmatched, really, in other MMOs, it looks like. Oh, actually, I stand corrected. We have a Jumper Golem inside the inner courtyard. This is the first time I've ever seen that.
Seen that?
Yeah, so it's a first for Grenton. And this is very interesting, because now those 2 yellow pillars, maybe they can get, you know, someone to pull it, someone to open it.
I would say, what would this strategy be? But this is your first time seeing this boy in here.
Well, he's doing exactly what he has to do. There he goes. He's jumped back on the wall, trying to get out a little bit. But he's still going to be taking a lot of damage.
Okay.
I'm not sure if he knows he can't break that wall. His job is mainly going to be to create space here for his Green Alliance to push and try to get in to open it from the other side. So what he was doing was perfect, because you saw how many people from the Blue Alliance had to kind of stay and attack him.
And run over there.
Which should have given either the Red Alliance or the Green Alliance an opportunity to push in, but it doesn't look like anyone really capitalized on that. Looks like the golems, he's stuck a little bit. They are big golems, so you gotta be a little elegant with how you move them. Otherwise, you might get stuck on buildings. But again, 3-way fight going on here. Top of your screen, we have the Blue Alliance that is pushing into the Green Alliance that has the Red Alliance in their back. So it's absolutely just insane, the amount of carnage that we're having here in the final 10 minutes of the siege. There's 7.5 minutes left. Sorry, 7 minutes and 50 seconds left. And Quintessence and the blue team, Wee Wee Baguette, has just been putting on a clinic on how to defend the castle. I'm not sure if it was the blue team that opened the outer gate. Hopefully I can get confirmation from someone in chat or a community member of one of these creators. But whoever opened the outer gate, Wee Wee Baguette's alliance just took control of it. They just took, they're like, oh, this is an opportunity. Let's go get the throne. They got the throne, they flipped it, and here we are.
Ninguém mais pegou o trono. Os caras defenderam bastante.
Look at this textbook defense from the Blue Alliance. They have a big clump of people blocking the only entrance into the throne room. I'm curious to see, guys, if you're listening to me, you're the Red and Green Alliance, this might be time for you guys to team up until you get into the throne room and then kind of drop the gloves and go crazy, because Wee Baguette's Alliance with Quintessence on the throne, they just kind of seem like an impenetrable wall right now.
I mean, they're a creator team, right?
Yeah, Wee Baguette, which we saw was ranked 2nd for kills.
Yes.
I believe it's just a creator guild. So a bunch of content creators in there and their community. This isn't one of these guilds that have been either playing on Korea for super long. Like we saw Sovereign. Sovereign is a guild that did play on Hyperboost. They went by a different name back then. Pirates, who are also 3rd or 4th, I believe, on the scoreboard, were a guild that played on Korea. So this creator guild is keeping up. And I'm so happy because this kind of just shows the people at home, if you kind of know what you're doing, you can keep up with these guilds who have been playing on Korea. And that's what I want. I want to see this dark horse come out on NA or this dark horse come out on EU and absolutely wash all of the guilds and just do what we're seeing here. We did see a little bit of a flip on the castle from someone from the Red Alliance. So we might have some, you know, sneaky little boys on Greatsword Dagger, Crossbow Dagger in the throne room. But again, we got, what, last 5 minutes here, 6 minutes. This is, it looks like, and maybe I'm caster cursing this, but it looks like Wee Baguette will close it out unless something happens here, because they're doing such a good job of just creating a meat grinder in front of this inner gate.
So one of the things I know we talked about is the environment. Is it able to respawn again after
the rain?
The rain after a certain cooldown? Yeah, that's a really good question. So what's really cool about this game is rain. The weather's random. Okay. Night and day cycles. There's an hour and a half of day, 30 minutes of night, but the actual weather's random. However, there are 3 what's called transcendental skills, which are global skills. And there's something in the game called activity points. So the more things you do in the game, the more activity points you generate. And if you're the #1 ranked activity person on your server, once every 12 hours, you can make it rain, baby. So you can actually call the rain down and do what we saw happen here, where you flood the sewers. If you're the #1 person for kills on your server, you get an eclipse buff, which turns it to nighttime, which, as you remember earlier, if you're in an open world dungeon at night, it becomes PvP. But more importantly, from Siege, your 69 other guild members, if they're standing around you, it will turn invisible. Okay, that's cool.
And speaking of action, this is actually a really good engage here. They're trying their best to... Oh, Danny unfortunately gets DC'd again. They're just trying to nerf him a little bit, but that engage, they're trying to get some space on the top. They're trying to create some room for his alliance to actually push through. The Red Alliance really needs to piggyback off this moment.
Right.
The enemy right now is blue.
And the time is ticking.
The time is ticking. Looks like we have someone trying to cap the throne. 4 minutes left. Again, this can go into overtime. This can go into overtime. They did stop the cap. And it looks like, yeah, there's just one little sneaky boy who went into the throne room. As you can see, this guy, unfortunately, he's stuck in the floor. He should just try to dodge roll, if you can hear me, and you'll probably get out of there.
There are people inside as well.
That sometimes happens if you get charged or hooked on the wrong angle. But it is what it is. And look, there's just all of the Blue Alliance is outside the courtyard.
Right.
So with a coordinated push, you can kind of flip the positioning, because they have no one on defense except for 5 to 10 people. So with a coordinated push and you can wrap around behind them, that's where you're able to kind of switch the momentum. And again, look, someone from the Green Alliance has taken the throne, and they're just trying to live here. And I'm not sure how many people are being pulled back. And again, boom, it was the guild called Ninjas. Their guild leader was killed, and the castle is back in the hands of Quintessence. There's only about 3 minutes left, so it's now or never for these guilds. As I did mention, you have up until the final second to cap the throne, because it will go into overtime otherwise. And just Blue Alliance is just so impressive here. What they're doing on defense is just phenomenal. They're kind of harassing not only the main choke, which is the inner gate choke, but they're going back up to that bridge to try to make sure they can't open it again. And again, look at this, the jumper golem. This is kind of all you can do with the golem now. Yeah, you can get inside, but if there's none of your allies in there, we saw it earlier, you're kind of just attracting attention, which can be good, but we want to make sure that you have a follow-up with it. So very, very stalwart defense here from the side of Quintessence and Wee Baguette's alliance, the blue team. And it looks like we're nearing our 2-minute warning, I believe. Yep. 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in play here. And this is kind of where, and a little friendly tip for those at home, you don't really need this Stonecrasher Golem anymore.
Okay.
He can very rarely go inside the castle walls. Sometimes you can kind of get him in there. But you don't really need that Golem anymore because the fight is happening at the inner gate.
Right.
Once both, obviously, sides of the wall are broken, now everyone can kind of go in where they want to go in from. You can actually break one more side on the left hand here. They just crash the gate and the right of the gate. You can actually break the left hand too. But this is enough room for people to just go in. And it looks like we had another ninja go and try to steal the castle, but they get killed pretty quickly. All they got to do is give that person, well, you can't do it anymore, but hopefully that person's an officer or above, because what they can do is they can sneak in, drop a summon gate, summon their entire 70-man guild inside the throne room, and then try to do that.
That would be so sick.
Yeah, that's what they should be doing here. I'm not sure if that's what they're trying to do, but it looks like he's just going for the throne every time.
But he has to be positioned in a certain
A little corner to knock his...
Yeah. Because does it take a while?
It takes about 5 seconds to cast the summon gate. So if you obviously get killed during that cast,
I'm sure you see it too right away.
Yeah, you have someone just holding like a flag or something for like 5 minutes, or 5 seconds, excuse me. But it looks like we're going back into the inner courtyard, so I'm not sure if there's a fight happening inside, and we actually have some craziness happening on defense as we enter our final minute of the siege, ladies and gentlemen. And this is where usually the call is, if you're on defense, last minute of play,
ninguém conseguiu pegar.
Everyone come to the throne room, you hold that breach, you hold the L
Vai,
corridor,
captura o trono agora.
and here we go. That's probably why they called it. We have Green Alliance,
Agora,
which is the alliance led by Baggins, with Baggins in it. Baggins actually has the throne right now. He has the usurper buff, and they just have to keep Baggins alive for 3 minutes. So it looks like the blue team is actually coming through and just absolutely ravaging them. But here comes red as well. This is exactly what you need. You need this chaos. It looks like Baggins did fall, so it's back in the hands of the blue team, but you just got to push through to the throne. This is where you just need your guild leader. It's only your guild leader. One person in each guild can touch the throne and try to capture the castle. It looks like someone from Dog Guild is trying as well. And again, it's just, this is going to be pure chaos for the final moments of play. If we can get the timers back up, and it is going to end as Quintessence and Wee Baguette managed to sneak a cap and defend for 35 minutes. I want to keep this on screen for a little bit because I do want to talk about it.
Okay.
Dead tie between Sovereign and Wee Baguette's kill scores. Sovereign is a very good guild from the Europe region who have played on Hyper Boost. Wee Baguette, to my knowledge, are all creators in their community. So what an insane showing from them. Hand of Unity as well, coming in 3rd place for kills. Pirates couldn't close out the siege, but you guys are in the top 5, so we appreciate that. Quintessence, Key, Zakon, Sanguinis, and Rohirrim, another creator guild in the top 10.
Dang.
So that's actually super cool to see. What a great siege from both players, or all sides, excuse me, and all creators. And the second column, the green column, is assists.
Okay.
That's why obviously that number's pretty bloated, because if I accidentally sneeze on Danny and he dies, it counts as an assist. But just a really great job, and you can see here on the map who controlled what as the siege ended. And again, just what a phenomenal showing from everyone. And
it's pure chaos.
I honestly want a wrap show so I can go home and fly and play early access. Like I just want to do a siege, man.
No, I want to create my character.
Yeah, you can do that. I'm rushing to 50. I want to play.
You want to do, but you know, I want to throw it to Danny. Danny, I know you were trying so hard to get back in it every single time. You know, I just want to know, like, out of all of this, these sieges, like, you know, you've done quite a bit. So I heard some comms, like some serious comms of trying to get your team in order. What was, you know, I guess the pivoting point for your team?
There was a very good opening, and I threw it. That's all I can say. I am going to get grilled. I was playing as the prince inside, and we had I don't know where that gap is. So we pushed forward to try and hold the choke point.
Oh, you walked out of the throne room.
I don't know if I walked out. I don't know. There's like 15 seconds left until we had it, and I don't know that limit. I haven't been in that situation before, so I probably threw that siege, and I am going to get slated once I get off this stage.
Or two.
There's going to be a mutiny within our... But that was brilliant, and I hopefully, you know, from my point of view, obviously dropping in and out there, trying to enjoy a bit of a golem. I haven't really done that either because you get everyone else to do it. So I was like,
yeah,
we're here, let's enjoy it. So as people could see, you can jump in it, and that's very fun.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's just madness. Like, it's just mad. And there's like positive moments and then angry moments and then sad moments. And it's just, I mean, it's the pinnacle of this
emotions
game. You know, it's amazing. But yeah, great fun. I don't know what else to say. It was just awesome. What we did see was I got kind of a cheat here. Once I died, I had a little bit of a...
Yeah, I saw you screen cheating.
Yeah, I was like, I'm looking over here like, do this. Shot calling through spectator cam. But the Blue Alliance, phenomenal.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
You were ready for that, huh?
Yeah, they
Look how
were
coordinated.
Brilliant, mate.
Do you know if it was them who opened the inner gate? Or that first, if it was blue or red?
So we managed, actually I don't know. I know that our boys were inside to start with. Scythe led a squad in and managed to get in there and get that initial fight going. I don't know who opened the gates early on, but wherever we went, there was just a sea of blue. That whole alliance coordinated so well. It was really, really good. So absolute credit to them. Is that Sheng?
That's Sheng. I gave him a little shout out.
Yeah. It's just that choke point is so unbelievably hard to get through, and you have to just relax, I think, and take your time. And that's what we started to try and do: take our time, get the kills, and then the guys managed to make that push through there at the end. And the fight was happening in the.
If it just happened a few minutes sooner.
Baggins was in there.
Baggins tried to cap, which is nice.
But then that army of blue come in and just shut us down again. But
was there any cross-comming between green and red towards the end to kind of like peace treaty, let's get in the throne room and then see what happens?
We were struggling to get comms from our own alliance.
Okay.
I'm looking at that camera, I'm talking to you.
Who are we calling out, Banana or Scythe this time?
Shiku.
Okay. Calling out Shiku, I guess.
I know you, mate. But no, honestly, it was just really good. Credit to the Blue Alliance. I didn't see much of the Red Alliance. Don't know where they were or what they're doing.
Oh, they were around. They were
doing stuff.
They were going crazy. They were hitting your backline a lot. Well,
I had a few of those calls. Behind us.
Yeah. They were trying a lot of the times to open that bridge into the inner courtyard as well, which was obviously useful.
Yeah.
And the couple times it was open is the only times the throne was trying to be flipped, right? So it was, like you said, madness.
I'm sweating again. My heart's beating. It was amazing, and obviously like the jumping in and out, the comms, the chaos from the spectators. It's just awesome. It's just, yeah. And what I'm hoping is that people will see the beauty of this from a small POV as well, because you can see the chaos.
Yeah.
Even for a large guild, it's just really tough. But from small guilds, you can.
There's so much you could do. Yeah.
Get kills, try and get through the sewers, whatever.
I do want to take a moment as well to talk about, my favorite thing in the world, Twitch drops.
Hey.
Yeah, so I see a lot of people in chat kind of saying, oh, I'm like 54%, 85%, more time. Don't worry. Oh, your feedback has been heard loud and clear. Yes. So as of tomorrow for early access, if you are watching any creator who participated in yesterday or today's show, they will have the Siege of the Day Twitch drops available on their channel. So if you didn't get them now, you can still get them as of tomorrow for early access. And obviously, if you want to get into the game early, make sure you grab yourself an early access pack, because not only do you get a bunch of cool stuff in it, but you can do that we just saw a lot sooner. Early access starts tomorrow. There's obviously 3 packs that you can choose from, the Standard, Deluxe, and Ultimate, and they all have a bunch of different cosmetics for you to choose from, so you can kind of just pick what you like.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's been so exciting. We'd had 2 days to finally kind of show the world what this game. I know a lot of people that have been, part of the community from the very beginning, to see this at a grand scale like this, So congratulations to you guys who've been really there from the beginning. And welcome to those who are just joining us and finally get to be part of this chaos.
And I do want to take a moment. I've been playing, and Dan has been playing for many, 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 many months. And while the Throne and Liberty community, the Western or global community, I should say, has been pretty small, I saw a lot of you guys in the chat today, and it really it's touching, because it's tough to go in front of a bunch of people who've never seen a game before and try to share your passion with the game. And I want to thank all the Throne and Liberty communities from all different walks of the world for being in chat, helping answer questions, showing your love for the game as well as ours on stage. And I don't know, I'm finally ready for it to come to our region. I'm so excited. I know Dan is too. So thank you from the bottom of my heart to everyone in the Throne and Liberty community, new or old. And yeah, that's for me, I'm like flabbergasted.
Well, I just want to say thank you for being our library, our encyclopedia, our North Star to this amazing event. We could not have done it without you. And don't forget to pick up your throne.
Agradeço a você que assistiu até aqui. Amanhã eu volto de meio-dia ou de 1h da tarde. Já vou estar online cobrindo meu jogo. Vou estar streamando até 1h da manhã, tanto aqui no TikTok, quanto na Twitch, quanto no YouTube, simultaneamente, as 3 plataformas, compartilhando com vocês um jogo incrível que vocês acabaram de assistir aqui comigo. Gratidão a você e até mais.
And the guilds that we saw compete today in probably a very insane castle siege. Thank you to Nyx, Just Play, Sanguinus, Zakon, Hand of Unity, Quintessence, Woe, Pirate Gaming, Key, excuse me, I'm not going to mess that name up again, and Sovereign.